This conference will now be recorded.
But they sent email out.
I'm not posting it,
I didn't receive, for example, today, I haven't received an email related to this meeting.
You come with me afterwards. We're going to talk to the management company at the front door there, and maybe they do not have your email.
Share.
That's a
You're not going to get it if they don't have it.
I know because the president of the board, he gave me this information about this meeting.
Donato?
This time, that's what I'm here.
Well, yeah, so we'll
Like
open the door after the meeting and make sure they have your contact information.
No, that's there.
And maybe I can start a group.
Can you
If
picture?
would like to be in a WhatsApp group or whatever.
A
Because it's
WhatsApp-
important
WhatsApp is
because of
good.
safety and other issues.
Yeah.
It's extremely important to have fast communication and easy.
You know, we talked about
I like
the
the
Villa
WhatsApp.
email with William, and then icon changed, and that idea went out, or Wanda left, or something changed, and we didn't get that specific email
Company.
for Gmail for all the Villa owners.
It's,
Karen, they told me that as a privacy thing, they could not provide us that information, but they could send it out on our behalf. We could say, here, we want this sent out to all the villa owners, and they could send it out, but they would not provide the information to us personally.
because imagine there is an emergency.
Is that right?
Fire or whatever.
That's Canal. Canal's right here. Ask her.
No, but why can't we have the
So I'm not
villa
gonna put the
committee,
fire
why can't
out.
we have a mailbox?
I kill myself,
If there's any villa,
just teasing.
any items that they
You want to
want,
build
right, like an email that the villas, or an email that the villas, if anybody has a question, they can email the villa committee.
That's how it was supposed to
Something
be.
so the villas committee could communicate with all the other villa owners.
They originally, what did they tell you originally when we asked them?
What's that?
Talk me into what you just said. They told us we cannot do that. Why
No,
did they tell us?
let me tell you.
Unless it
How
changes.
William said it would work.
We
They could send an email saying, everybody, if you have any concerns with the villas, please respond to this for what Gmail. Then once you do that, you get their email. You understand?
Right.
Well, that's
Right, for services, send out.
charge now.
So we have to go through them.
Isn't William still the
them,
chair?
and they're gonna have to send the
William
emails to
was going to
everybody.
be the chair.
Yeah, like I can set up,
I
the only thing I
can't.
can do is like in
And that's all
our Connect portal, like,
I sure don't know. I'm not even on the committee.
Well,
I have no
I'm not
clue.
asking you personally.
Oh, I know.
I'm just
send
asking
like a distribution.
somebody.
You need to ask Camille too.
No, Camille has-
Right, they had it.
Meeting.
It's in the managers,
I know it is, but I can't.
Yeah, I have it
it.
Like send it
It
to,
was in the managers
Like now,
Friday
Committees have just their personal email and a
Into
distribution list,
another
and they do it themselves.
So that's just, oh, yeah, I got it. October 21st, right?
Emails of the
Right, like
facility.
yes, would have been on October
That's what
20. So you don't need it now?
Remember those?
Yes, honey.
That will
like
help a
we can
little bit.
email.
That's all I got.
Two of us, three of us,
Yeah.
or five of us. I mean, if
Just
villa
put it in
owners have a
This
question
went out to the whole
for the
community.
villa committee, can they submit it to a villa
Because I want to
committee
make sure it's still.
email, email? Like, can you set up as first services?
I can't set one up.
No.
Maybe I went through.
Can you check your email?
I
I would
always.
have to maybe ask the attorney.
Okay.
If she's seen or Christina, how she's thinking, how she's seen, like a larger.
We could.
Well, Pat's your
Have your
chair.
contact information, or you want to go through the meeting?
Oh, yeah, what happened to Pat?
He wasn't able, yeah, he wasn't able to.
I received the
So he-
general,
He asked me if I could.
but I would like
He
to.
couldn't
have
even Zoom?
specific
No, he's on the.
Villas mailing list.
Well, that's not
It's like I
good.
know when we
It's a work in
submit a
progress.
question to the board,
I recorded it.
And it's very simple.
so when we submit a question to the board, it has to go to the board of my country club.
No, but
We gotta be careful.
Marilyn answers it.
We cannot give.
Right. But is there one that we can do?
They have to
submit
give you.
For the
I
villa,
understand.
Because
villas,
private.
villas have a question.
I can't give you.
It would have to
just
be-
neighbors even.
It'd have to be one separate for
Oh, yeah, no, that
paid
is.
for separately, because the community is.
What is?
That one.
Are we going to start?
Yeah, they're trying.
You're waiting for William. He's on his way.
He's,
I got
2:15.
Williams apparently not coming or?
He said he thought it was 2:30.
I could temporary chair because if you'd like to, William gets here.
Then we can-
Get some
Let's move it
questions.
along.
Yeah, we have people waiting on,
Right,
if that's okay with everybody?
Sure.
Just to get the meeting started?
Yep.
And Williams calmly could take over. Is that fair?
Very fair, thank you.
Well, I'm sorry, I don't have an agenda.
Well, normally he reads the last minutes from the last meeting. The last meeting I think we had was July 26th of '22.
Okay,
We didn't have a meeting in September. Okay,
okay.
so do you want me to read?
Yeah, go ahead, Karen, let's go over the minutes from last.
Okay, from July 26th, the members in attendance were William Jones, David Slough, okay, Karen Phillips, and Robin Sarasoli. Sarasoli. So no emails were sent out at that time to the villa owners informing them of the meeting that was held on that day. We read the minutes from June 28th meeting, and then we opened the meeting. We discussed some business. Karen Phillips asked the villa committee members to vote to extend pavers for the entire length of the back of the houses to align with the front of the air conditioner. The vote was a yes by 4 members present, and Karen Phillips will work with the verbiage with David Slough. When that is completed, it will be handed to William Jones to discuss with Peter Lightburn, so the standards for the villas can be adjusted. Wanda is supposed to provide us with an email address for villa owners. William Jones needs to speak with Andrew. Parking enforcement rules need a solution to the parking problem. New business. Board meeting on July 18, 22, they approved the villa reserve for $54 a month and a community reserve of $45 a month. Landscape in the back of the villa homes are uneven and messy. Villa owners need to put in work orders to let Down to Earth know there is a problem. The board is looking to replace Down to Earth when the contract ends. First Service has sent out emails to the community with contact numbers. Sign up on First Service app and Icon app. You may have a master credit balance. A question was brought up as to why the Villa Committee is a subcommittee and not its own committee. Reminded to vote for 2 new board members. 1 candidate dropped out of the election. Next Villa Committee meeting is Tuesday, August 30th at 2 p.m. And that did not happen.
So we need to go through one
I know.
at a time so we could address those, right?
What?
Each
No,
one of
those
the
are
things that
just
you
the
said.
minutes. Those are
Those are just the minutes.
Yeah, the
Now-
minutes from last meeting.
Right, but none of them were done, right? None of them were addressed.
Well, the board meeting, they approved the reserve. The landscaping is messy, you need to let them know. The board is looking to replace Down to Earth. I think they're still in that process. First Service has sent out emails to the community. Wakanta, you've done that. You need to sign up on the First Service app and Icon app. Okay. Why the Villa Committee is a subcommittee and not its own committee? I don't know why. Do you know why?
Well, you can only have one committee as far as I'm aware of, and that would be your HOA committee. Anything besides that are subcommittees. So we're actually a subcommittee of a subcommittee. We're a subcommittee of the facilities. So we make recommendations to the facility committee, and the facility will make recommendations to the HOA committee.
Okay, nice, thank you.
The HOA board, not committee.
Board, thank you.
But there is a golf committee.
There would be probably a subcommittee of the
I
HOA.
never heard that before. Well, I know that everything goes to the HOA. I get that.
They can only make
They have the
recommendations.
final say
Final
on
say
everything,
so.
yeah.
No, the board, yeah.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes,
They
of
can
course.
make recommendations and they have revenue generation idea, through theirs.
We have a pickleball committee now, I hear.
Subcommittee.
So, so these are all, but they're called committees, but they're actual legal terms. It's a subcommittee of
Yeah.
Gotcha.
committee or.
The committee, yeah. And okay, we have 2 new board members. 1 dropped out, and the last one was the Villa Committee in August meeting, but that didn't happen.
But you do have to address the pavers because you don't know that. You don't know what's become of that.
Well, that's on new business. That's on the new, yeah.
May I
Okay.
go ahead?
I'm sorry. You said we have new board members?
Yeah, they voted. Pat is a new.
Oh, no, okay. I thought you meant for the villa to take the place of somebody who resigned. Okay.
So there's probably,
Pat,
Pat and Klein, yeah,
Pat Klein.
Peter. I mean,
Pat's the facilities and.
Yeah.
and
Pat
the-
Klein?
The other new one was.
Terry.
Terry,
Yeah.
he's communications and activities.
is there, would it be fair to say there'd be a vacancy available in the Villa Committee? Hi, William.
Hey! It would be fair to say because you have resigned. So
Yes.
Yes,
Yeah, so I'm just saying,
yes,
so there
yes.
is an opening
There
for,
is
Isn't
chair,
that all?
and I assume whoever wants to join more than
What
welcome.
about Thelma? I mean, is she?
I don't know
If
about
she's
that.
not coming,
Do you
do
know
we need
about
to?
Thelma?
No, I think Thelma took a job as in education, so I think. that
Is she,
maybe-
does she want to resign from the committee?
you would have to ask her that personally.
I'm sure we can.
So
You're
how do
you're
we
gonna
go?
take
Who
care
was on
of
the
Thelma.
committee?
So who was on the committee? It was David, Karen, myself,
William.
Andrew, and William.
No, not Andrew.
Well, was. But we have to find out what we have to do now that Andrew resigned. How do we
David,
go with,
Robin, Karen, William,
and Thelma,
Thelma, and it was Andrew.
Andrew. But Andrew resigned,
That's 6, you would need 7. Someone.
I'm thinking of odd numbers as well.
right? That's all it was. Oh, and-
Therein lies the problem of.
Wouldn't be able to have
We were
quorum.
talking a little bit in the car. Andrew was on the facilities committee, was asked to form this committee, so he really, even though he was doing the legwork on it, he was liaison from the other board, so he
Yeah.
wasn't officially
On that, okay, he
committee
was,
per se, so we had
okay,
5.
okay, so 5, that makes sense, he was the liaison.
Yeah, but, you know, with the startup, yeah, but
But that's fine, so
that
that's
was,
fine.
that was where you fit in though.
But he actually
That
had
actually
voting. He had voting.
Yeah, I was
He was
officially a
able to vote.
committee representative.
So he wasn't just a liaison.
Oh, so then you need one, you would need one more, because.
And
Yeah,
still want
6.
an odd number. And William, we started the meeting, and if you don't mind, I would like to turn the meeting over to you.
Oh, no, that's okay, you can keep on. Well, let me apologize first. Thanks, Karen, for giving me a call. I was under the impression, for some reason, I'm thinking 2:30 as well. So, you know, but.
It has old braids to do that.
Right, great. So I think that I asked, and unfortunately, I didn't print off anything. Karen, did you get anything from anyone
Yes,
for the agenda?
yes,
Do you have anything that I could have?
I do. Well, I could read it if you
That's
like.
fine. Okay, well,
Well, I
did we do the minutes from the last meeting?
Yes,
You did that already?
yes.
Okay, good deal.
I just have a question before we
Yeah.
start about the members now. Since Andrew resigned, how do we go about getting new members?
You would, the same process we did for the others, so it's a committee application form that we would collect, and then, I mean, if somebody wants to, and/or
Ask for,
know that, yeah, I would have you ask for them, or I can add it to the, have TJ add it to the manager update on Friday to ask for applications.
We were most informal
most of-
last time. It was more
Yeah.
like, I want to be on it.
I
Andrew
hate to
spoke
go
with
out right
Peter.
now with more because we just did all the committees, so it might be a little confusing to some.
I think
So
we
if you
did,
know that there's someone active that,
but we
you
did, if I'm not mistaken, Andrew, did we not have people submit information for the committee before? I think rather than just, did we not have people submit information that if you were interested in it for some reason? There was not necessarily an official application process, but you did ask for certain information, did we not?
He said send an email, I think.
you know, in the early days, William, we didn't have the communication line completed because we had no villa information available to us. So it was kind of more of a word of mouth type of thing. And now, hopefully, with the leadership of our management team here, they could get that information out to the villa owners and ask for maybe applications directly.
Do you need to do
Villa
an
owners.
application or is it just simple to do one application?
I
Is that
think you
just
should.
simple to say, I'd like to be on the committee?
You probably have to do it legally because there might be other, might be like 5 people. Well, how come I wasn't,
Yeah.
asked to be on?
Exactly. Everybody
So-
should be
So
asked.
people what are going to give their background, I'm an engineer, I'm an attorney, and then who's good, we vote who we're going to choose out of that 5? Is that the idea?
You can
I would
ask.
recommend to ask Peter. Peter's the one that guided me through the process. And when I did it, now since you mentioned that, an application was not necessary. It was a handpick because we were a subcommittee of the subcommittee or whatever.
I remember that.
So I don't know if that's still the case. So I think that would be a good question to reach out to
Can you
Peter.
find out, who should he talk to, Pat?
Peter,
Peter's not on the board
he's on
anymore.
the facilities, so.
But Camille's here, why can't we?
So I would recommend just to keep it fair and consistent that you do the applications. It's quick and easy to fill out and then that way we know. But I'll have Brittany do a distribution of this 92 villa homes out of Connect that we can send an email to just that it goes to your community. So which I've been wanting, I need to do anyways because I wanted to give an update on the
Do
roofs.
you actually have
leaking.
all 92 villa homes email? You have them all?
Should have it,
For sure,
Yeah.
100% sure?
You
like
should have a contact.
99.9%. I don't like to go all the way in.
Yeah.
Yeah, if it's Connect, we have to have them for, but if they've opted out of communication, even when I send it, it's not gonna send to them, which is the problem we have with 60% of, 40% of the community.
Well, I know Kathy is interested, right?
I am.
I would like to.
And I can
just
just
a-
go get some of the applications too. I mean, you can
Please,
kind of-
that's
That would be
fine.
great.
Yeah, let's get the process.
But I think
rolling.
all the bill owners, I mean, in
Yeah,
my
I mean,
opinion, I would
opportunity.
want to have the opportunity.
Yeah,
If I was, I'm a bill owner, I would like to have the opportunity.
and when was the
To
committee
apply.
formed? has it been a year? Does it need to be?
Oh, sure.
longer?
Has it been a year?
So it might need to be that, we just take all of your applications, which everyone.
And
When
so
did we start the Villa Committee?
If I may share with the Villa Committee the proper procedures that was related to me, and if it's different and somebody heard differently, that's okay as well. But it was told to me that the Villa Committee should always report to the Facilities Committee. The Villa Committee is a subcommittee of the Facilities Committee. So it's kind of a chain of command. So instead of, taking our issues and our addresses and throwing it up to the board, we want to give it to the facilities and the facilities will direct it to the board. Okay, so just to kind of keep that, it's a process.
It's a good point.
And so what is the magic number? Because before we had 6 is tough. Okay,
I would think an
because,
odd number.
You have to have an odd number.
and the odd numbers.
I know what they're doing on the pickleball committee because there is an even number. The chair is just not, if the vote is even, the chair will not vote.
Oh,
The chair will step out.
that's a good idea.
Yeah, that's what they do.
That's a very good
That's what we're
idea.
doing. That's what they're doing. We're doing on that.
Okay.
So just a thought, but you could have 7.
I'm
Yeah.
How about
actually
just
would
7?
like 7. I would
I
like
think,
as
I
much.
think an odd number makes it so much
I
easier
agree.
because, that don't take the voting right away from anybody.
Would that be 5 or 7?
5 or 7.
Yeah,
For,
I like.
You're at 5 now, right?
7.
We're at 5 now.
Now I'm going to question Thelma because she hasn't been at a meeting. I've been to 2 of them. I don't think she's been at any of them that I was at.
We need to reach out to Thelma and check her status.
You'll
Yeah,
take care of
actually,
that?
Thelma had, because I think I was out of town, actually in June, and Thelma was attending a meeting, but we didn't have enough people for a quorum. And then I think the last couple of meetings, we really have canceled.
I don't think a subcommittee is required to have a quorum. It's just the committee. Even when we were at the facilities the other night, they said we have a quorum, but it's really not necessary.
Right. I think, but, I
See,
mean,
now, when Wanda was here, she told us that we didn't have a quorum for one of the meetings, and we couldn't have a meeting. What do you think,
How
Camille?
do we know that?
Well, since we're a subcommittee,
Right?
I think
I do
quorum
think,
is not necessary.
I do think that.
Can you find that out?
But I do think that the feedback from the members is good, because if you don't have a quorum and you just got a couple of people and you start sending information up, that's not.
Yeah.
I
I
agree.
think I think that goes against the spirit of having a committee. Whether we want to say it's a quorum or whatever, but I just think that all committee members need to have an opportunity to give feedback or a certain number of. And, you know, because if you have a certain number of, them, say for instance, we have 7 and 4 people vote a certain way, that other person's input will not have changed anything. But if you don't have that, then that person's input would be very valuable to what we'll recommend.
Sure.
So although we can call it a quorum, or we can say we need a certain number of people, feedback.
Sure, of course.
You don't want to have 2 people there and they make the decisions.
Yes, that would be tough.
Send it out to 100 and 2 people show up.
No, I'm talking about just the committee.
The committee.
Yeah.
So along this lines, what is the term of a villa subcommittee member?
How long can they serve, are you saying?
You'll be on the committee 1 year, 2 years, 3 years?
I don't know that there's
How do-
a limit on
Does
the
it-
subcommittee.
Can
Can
we
we
get it?
double check? Yeah.
Okay, so you're gonna check.
To the best of my knowledge, there's no limitations because it is a subcommittee again, but
yeah.
please check.
Yeah, I'll double check with that.
Get the-
with Christina.
And the other thing is, I would like to change the time of the meeting. Maybe if we had it in an evening, you'd have more members after work that they could either come to the meeting or, Zoom online. How does that sound to you?
I am impressed, though. You have more at this meeting than we get at board meetings. In a positive way, don't you?
We live in the villas, so we tend to be a little bit more on the retired side. Maybe that's got a little bit of something to do with it. Harold did a great job of sending things out.
Thank you.
No.
Thank you, and likewise. So do you think that 6 PM would work for everybody?
Okay.
Member, 6 PM. And we could, you could keep it the last Tuesday of the month, but change it to 6 PM.
I'd rather do it at 6:30 than 6. Just 'cause of
6:30?
the way we eat it supper, it makes.
Okay, so you want to do it 6:30? I can do 6:30. Reasonable. Robin, what say you?
Sure. I'm not going to be here for the next 2 meetings because I'm going back home November
So you
17th
won't be
until
able to Zoom?
December 30th. I could Zoom. I'll be home with the grandchildren, but yeah, I'll probably fit in an hour for Zoom,
Okay.
6:30. Okay.
So you're okay, William?
I'm good.
David, you're okay with 6? I'm okay with 6:30.
6:30.
So.
Is that a good time for?
It's always hard for us, but it's all right.
Oh, because that's how we
It'll
work.
be TJ.
Okay, but well, someone will be here, right? To set us up.
Okay, that's
No,
fine.
but you always.
Okay, good. Okay, then we move to 6:30. Works for me.
Okay. Was it any different at 6 o'clock for you versus 6:30?
5:30?
I'm here all the time.
5:30?
Yes, you are. Yes, you are. I can attest
Do
to
you
that.
get paid overtime if we ask you to stay? Is it an issue with, financing?
No.
So those salary things.
I'm gonna
Yeah,
say.
salary is hard. Just got to be where it is.
I'm gonna
We don't
say
want to make it
exactly.
difficult.
You know.
We don't want to make it difficult.
And they've done
No,
that.
I want the attendance so we can get,
When you get back to us, all the questions we ask, will you send an email out to us? Yeah. Okay, as opposed to waiting for the next meeting for you to respond?
and if I don't have everyone's emails, because Pat had asked me, do we have like an email list kind of thing? Or if I pass around an email distribution, thank you. Or just like a piece of paper, then you can write your emails? Because I don't have everyone's emails.
No, we should do that
Make
before we
it, pretty
leave.
much got most of them anyway.
These are,
May I make a
I'll email
suggestion?
these out, but that's the committee application.
I think at this meeting, guys, and William, if I haven't mistaken, you wanted to leave the chair, or do the chair throughout the summer?
And I want,
And then
I think that's one of the things that we asked to put on the agenda.
to have.
Because initially, from my understanding from the minutes that we had, that, in October that you were going to return.
Mhm.
So I think the understanding was that I would sit in until October as well. So anytime there is any extension or anything other than what we've agreed on in the minutes, then we need to have a conversation about that and decide how we want to go forward. I know that this is difficult because we're adding new members and things like that, but if we have someone sitting in the room that is already a member that is interested in being the chair, then I think we can have that conversation now.
do you mind holding on to the chair until we get another another member or two? Can you hang in there?
If you don't have anyone else that's interested in becoming that at this point, I quite naturally I would
Would
until
you,
we
would you
have
be
enough.
so kind?
That'd
And
be fine.
hopefully by the next meeting, we'll have people on the board and then we can take a fresh roll.
I
Are
think
you good with that?
I'm good with that.
Okay.
I'm good with that. If everyone
And
else
thank
is
you,
good with it.
Online, that would be great because, like I
Yes,
said,
sir.
we're going,
Thank you,
I'm going
William.
back.
Yes,
Maybe
sir.
just-
I'm sorry.
Good afternoon. We're just here visiting for present a business, if it's feasible for this committee to deal with. And we will leave after that because we came only to present that issue. What happened is that before the hurricane, water was leaking in our home.
Can you hold on with that? Pardon me. Hold that thought. Can we continue with our agenda and then we can open it up
And the
for
remarks at
questions?
the back end? I mean, I don't know where we are
Are
on
you
the
okay
agenda,
with
so
that?
that, I'm fine with that. If you're okay, sir, holding on to that for a moment?
Yeah.
Because I think you'd want to send me the email about the roof. Yes,
Sure,
yes.
that's me.
And I said, send it to me and we will forward it, up the chain. And so this is the meeting that we're having, and so we will definitely address that.
Perfect. Well, if you already have the information, then we can leave because I just came for that. We really don't want to interrupt.
So if you're open meeting, you're welcome to stay.
Yeah, but we need to do our agenda. Let's get our business done and then he can fight.
Feel free to, since you have the information, I think you have enough to
You
discuss.
really should listen to the agenda.
Because we have another things to do and just came for a while.
All right.
So thank you very much.
Thank you for
your
joining.
work, and we appreciate what you do for us. And if there is anything that comes from this.
Well, you hopefully, we have your information, and the information from this meeting should be made available to you,
Perfect.
okay?
And are you receiving emails from First Services?
Yes.
Oh, great.
Okay.
We need an
Terrific.
email. We need an email. We need to create an email for the village.
Thank you so much. Thank you, very nice to meet you.
Nice meeting you as
We
well.
had that.
Thank you.
All the committees do it themselves. That's what I'm gonna check. I put it down here to ask, to see if Christina has any ideas of what previous other properties have done. But typically we
We
don't
need
do.
to have our own email. How are we gonna do
Well,
that?
again, that was one of the things that, again, that meeting that we were not in June, that was supposed to be created. I think the young lady that was here prior to,
She was
Wanda, said that she was going to create an email, I guess through First Services, or it got to come
The only
down.
thing I can do is a distribution list. It wouldn't be a first service email,
But I mean, but who would they, if they needed
but
to
they would be
contact
on my
someone,
end.
if they need to contact someone to get information to the villa committee or about the villa, who would they contact?
I email, like right now, all the committees, I emailed it, like I have this,
No, you're
the
sending
5 or
it out.
7 people, I emailed their committee, just their personal emails for every committee that there is.
So
Okay,
not,
so you don't.
The
you don't
board
send-
one is separate, like
okay, so why can't we have like the board has?
you would
Who
have to
created
buy
that?
the association, but you would have to pay for one out of between just going to the villas. I'm trying to think, that's why I told her, I want
But
to ask
it's
her.
so easy to create an email, isn't it? You just say
Yeah.
blah, blah, blah at Gmail, and then you distribute
Then
that.
somebody has to manage it, like manage that account.
So, but basically, if they wanted some information, they could send it in to you and you could send it down to the committee. Is that what
I'm
you're
going
saying?
to check,
Okay,
because I don't have that for any committee.
okay.
Every committee is just their emails. And they just are a group of those 7 emails, like I send any communication I need to them and then where that goes.
So,
But I, like what you're saying for our purposes of communicating is like Brittany, like I'll send, we're gonna set up a distribution of just your, and all of me, just the 92 villas so that I can communicate directly to you, but it wouldn't be for email, it wouldn't take email responses back, you would just have to get email. It
We
wouldn't
don't
be like a
need you in it. We
distribution.
really
Oh,
don't
so
need you in
distribution.
it.
No, yeah, that's what I'm,
So what
I
you're
think you would
saying
have
now-
to set.
But the villas would be able to communicate to us through the distribution.
Because why don't you just do like a Facebook? between.
We got a Facebook site,
We
there's
do
not
have
very, there's not very many people
You
on
know
there.
what happens on Facebook? People
think-
sell everything on Facebook.
And there's,
They sell their homes on Facebook.
no, I've taken everybody off as far as I'm
Did you?
aware. Yes, everybody's
Why
off.
can't we
It's only
just
for
have a
gold members.
Gmail or a
And when they
Yahoo?
ask to join, I tell
But
them.
there's a
But
lot of
initially,
members that are
we
not
did
on
Gmail.
Facebook. People
And
are-
we set up a Gmail
We
account.
did?
We had one, yes.
Okay.
Thelma had it.
Where is it?
But I thought we set it out. Again, I have to go back, let me go back and talk with them on that because I believe we have that.
I
Yeah,
thought we
because the
did,
Gmail
I think,
account
came
is
in-
like the easier way to do
Yeah.
it.
And because you can set them up for free.
I
But
think,
I think what happened was when she came into the meeting in June with Wanda, Wanda said that she would establish.
Yeah, Wanda suggested creating another GQ email address for the villa residents and stated that she will make it available to all villa owners, and FSR will have access to it as well. The email address would be provided when created. That was on June 28th.
correct.
Yeah,
Clearly.
I'll have to just look into it though, because right now, the emails are getting shifted off of Gmail and from to ITS, so I don't even,
What's ITS?
our
That's
IT
the-
provider,
Huh?
our IT provider.
That's our new IT
Oh,
provider.
okay.
Transit.
Okay.
Okay.
But I do know that I created one and Thelma had it. Unfortunately, I didn't bring it.
Will you
back.
I think
follow
I
up with
heard
But I'll
that?
follow up on that because if we need to have a Gmail, we have one on the staff, okay? We have a Gmail email that was created that is available if we need to use that. But the reason we kind of put that to rest was because when she came in and spoke with Wanda, she was told that Wanda was going to create something that would make it more efficient because it would come through here. That's what we have in the minutes, am I not mistaken, Carol?
Yeah, it was in the minutes. I
That's
just,
in the
I'm
minutes.
like
Oh, yeah,
not
I said
understanding.
definitely.
So yes, so that was where we are on that, but we'll get the Gmail thing because I had to
All right,
password on that.
that's for you.
Yes,
Okay, so let's go read what's on the agenda now, okay? So, okay, this question to you. I'd like to know, to discuss why we don't have an answer to the pavers in the back of our house. Now, I know you went
I
to
sent it to Peter.
Peter, I know that.
Yes,
But can you follow up, I mean, with Pat and say, well,
yeah, I
can they give us an
What are you
answer?
trying
Man,
to,
it's
what
been
are you
like,
trying to do with the
I
papers?
can give you an answer.
okay.
are you Peter?
No, but I.
I'd like it from the.
Okay, but can you, but if he said at a
You understand
meeting,
what I'm
so
saying?
can we just find out, let's see what was
Okay.
But yeah,
happening.
let's talk about
Let's see
it.
what happened.
When it came up, the board said, no, it was too general. It would be
What?
by saying the end of the air conditioner or the end of the shrubbery was too general. And it turns out that I can understand what you're saying. You said 8 foot to the back of your shrubbery, remember you were talking about that?
Everybody's different.
Okay, my back table door neighbor is put on the tile, he put 6 foot.
Yeah, no, that's,
So
we
it
measured.
varies, you know.
But the
So
thing
that's
is,
what they said he was supposed to
respectfully
go back the way it was that.
deserve
That
a
was-
response from the board.
Yeah, that's
Okay.
what
Yeah,
I
let's
would say.
Where is that response? It's been months.
I didn't get anything.
Okay, but you
Okay.
need to write them and
Yeah,
find
that's-
out, come on, we want to put.
And I'll go
papers
grab
in
my
there.
notes from that one for meetings, but it was stated in that
It's in the bylaws already.
in that bylaw, but it was stated for the change to the end of the mulch bed around the AC unit.
But it's not
That is-
enough.
which is-
We want the entire, see, when they come to mow the lawn, you don't want them going, if we do the whole back from one end of my house to the other end, guess what? They don't have to go in and out because you left the spot here that's not paved.
But what about the people that's already had theirs done?
Okay, good for you.
Well, no,
You want
because
to change
I mean,
it?
if you have to change somebody, you told me on the bylaws, it can only be this size. Well, I got it this size.
It's not the
Now we can
bylaw.
make it bigger.
It's a
It's
standard.
an ARC
It's a standard,
standard.
right.
The
But the
ARC
standards are subject to change anytime.
They can change, but don't tell somebody that they can't have it done and say, oh, now you can have it done. Well, now it's too late. I already had mine
I
done.
don't,
It is smaller.
I don't agree it's too late. It's
Oh, that's cool. I don't know. I
Well,
don't
you know
I
what.
haven't read that. I mean, they need to have a set of standards.
But
standards are subject to change.
The original, correct me if I'm wrong, the original idea was to cover our lanais,
Mhm.
right, from end to end, so that this way, when down to earth comes to weed whack, they don't hit our lanais and damaged the, what do you call
Screen,
that?
margin.
Okay,
The bottom of the screen,
okay,
dark
good.
screens, and then we have about this much,
Good.
right?
But
And
it
that was
wasn't
our
for-
idea.
Right, but
And that, but you were not on the board back then, I
that's
don't think.
correct. I was.
So when David and Dale did it, that was our thought, because you can't leave anything out there. It was just so that you can open your lanai door enough so that you're
I
not
guess that,
stepping
but
on the
we
grass.
already voted, the committee voted that we can now do it from one end of the home to the other.
But
We
what
voted
what
on
we
it.
voted on is to ask for.
To ask.
Recommendation.
But we
Recommendation.
were okay with doing it. It passed
Recommendation.
our committee's approval. Okay, and we have not gotten a response
Well, let me
yet.
say this, I did not get anything back, but obviously it was addressed in the.
It was.
It wasn't addressed.
Well,
It was
that's addressed
addressed
to
in the
me
meeting.
because I have nothing in writing. I'm not, that's hearsay.
Well, you-
I don't have
Well, we can get, the minutes have got to be available, right?
the-
So-
Yeah, the
But
recordings.
the board
Right.
responded.
Is it-
Can I interject? I read the minutes and I saw something in there about Villa pavers, and that's pretty much it. It said, so I said, what is it? What's with the Villa pavers? And Marilyn replied to me, that has been sent to the art committee. That's how she replied to me.
Art committee?
The art committee?
The art committee to look at
Let
it
me go
further.
grab my
That's
Because
what Marilyn
are we
told
talking
me.
about, are we talking about the pavers, are we talking about the driveway there, or are we talking about?
The pavers.
patio pavers.
Right? She
Patio?
told me that had been sent to the art committee to further look at that.
Patio.
You understand what hearsay is meaningless. I want a response from the
But
board.
if we have minutes, Karen, it's not just, if
Well,
we have
then,
minutes.
she's got the minutes. It said nothing in the minutes.
Okay.
It was general
It
nothing.
was a general Villa pavers or
Then
something.
let's look at the minutes, but
Because I questioned it, I didn't know what it was talking about.
Yes, I will.
Demand an answer.
Well, now you can demand a lot, but you don't get it. Okay, I mean, don't get it wrong.
As I heard it, I think he was supposed to get back to William with these.
Yes, and that did not happen. So-
And it wasn't, they may have thought it, yeah, whatever. We need to get an answer.
Yeah,
We need an
yeah.
answer.
We need to,
Now,
I mean,
what we
if
asked
they're gonna
for,
change it,
Carol-
I wanna know now, because we've already got a bid in to do what it says we can do.
Right, but let's.
You know, I don't, I don't want them
What
to
we-
tell us,
Right,
like,
that's
now
why
to
I'm
get
holding
bigger.
on.
But what we asked for, Karen, also, was not to eliminate the initial approval. We asked
We
for,
wanted to an addition.
we wanted an
to it.
additional, in
Correct.
other words, we wanted us to have the option to do
either or.
A or B.
Correct.
So it was
Well
not that
said.
A was not going to no longer exist, because if this is what we've agreed on, this is what's been approved, then
We're
we're
tweaking
good.
it.
But what we
Tweaked it.
asked for was, can we have option B as well?
Because David already has his.
Because see, some people have already
And
had
I'm
this
getting,
done.
we're getting ours,
If some
but I wanna
people
know
have it
before,
done,
I decided that.
You know, otherwise I'm not bigger.
That little bit
The
doesn't
5
look good
foot
to me.
to.
Well, I mean, it's.
Okay, can we go on to the next one? So
Well, let's finish this one. Let's stay here just one more moment.
We gotta
Okay.
move it
There,
Now,
hardly.
you stay here for just a
I know.
minute. so we
Just
have-
Well, yeah, that's what
She's gonna get, obviously, she's
But-
gonna get some
You
minutes.
can grill.
But again, I
You're
think.
supposed to have 10
I've
people.
noticed-
It's only
Right.
10 to the end of
They
mine.
have already put in a request.
And get to your driveway.
But what we had.
Know the street.
the-
No, I'm talking
Can
about it.
one person talk at a time so that we can hear you?
I know all of that.
Yeah.
I'm sorry? Go ahead.
She's saying, could one
We
person
couldn't
talk?
hear what you're saying because you're all talking over each other.
Yes, you're
We'd like to
correct.
hear what you're saying.
Well, let me apologize for that, and we won't talk over one another anymore.
Did you guys get in trouble?
Yes, we did.
May we, William, can we go to my question number 2?
Well, can we just
Well,
hold
let's
tight for just
do
one
one.
moment? Because I do think we need to stay right here if we get this, if this is readily available,
What's that?
the information about the papers.
Yeah, it's well, yes. I'm trying to see if that was.
Yeah, we want the official online, not your notes.
What was that?
We want the official online that the board released, not
All right,
your
well,
notes.
let's go into first services and I can get it on the minutes, correct?
I think we
Yeah, the
said
minutes
that.
are posted and then the meeting is on the YouTube. But I mean, what they had said during the meeting was that they needed some recommendations or needed to go back for recommendations from, it says ARC and the
Committee,
villas.
yes.
Yeah, ARC and the villas.
That's what I was told.
It was discussed that the villa homeowners, perhaps they should do a petition on the size and the thought there and prepare for, and propose the setback provisions, check with the Osceola County. So there were just too many questions of, did it,
Well, did you check with Osceola County when you did that little 5x5? Did you go through that process? I don't know. Did you have to do that? Why did we have to do that now when you didn't have to do it before? I don't understand the difference.
Because it's already in the bylaws, maybe?
Not
It's not
bylaws.
bylaws, it's standard.
We have-
And we created
standards.
those
The art
standards.
does,
You
The art
get me?
does that.
But it's regardless, you're the only one who knows it. I don't know that on the committee. I got nothing in writing from them of anything. What kind of nonsense is that? That's unprofessional. I'm a committee, and yet we got no feedback as a committee member. It's terrible.
Well, let's,
Sorry.
well, they do volunteer their time, so. and
I'm
then
not
they've got-
don't volunteer if you can't do it right. I'm not interested
During
in
the board
volunteer.
meetings.
Okay.
But
Well, let's,
we deserve the response.
and we do, and I will make sure we get it. But let's do this. Some people have already had it done. And we want feedback, and I will give feedback for you.
Okay.
But let me say, for me personally, I am not, I don't feel that we should try to discredit what somebody else has already had done, or try to put an additional burden on somebody that's already done something. Because if that becomes the standard and do away with Plan A, then what happens to the people that's already had Plan A done? So we'll get feedback. Karen, I'll get back with you on that, and I can assure you that I will reach out today and I will ask.
And
to have
they're making
feedback.
us jump through hoops for this Plan B. I want to know, did they jump through hoops for Plan A? Because you can't say okay to Plan A and then no to Plan B. It's the same thing. Can you find that out?
That's impossible.
Well,
Well,
you know,
we
we are part of a committee, so as part of a committee or a subcommittee, we should be looking up these things, right? What the statutes are, which is what I did today. When we get to this part, I will tell you what the statutes say for the position. So we can't just say, you do this, you do this, you do this. Part of our committee, when we formed it, was to gather information for the villas, because this was the first time that the villas were part of this community. So that's how we came up with all this. We had to look up statutes. I called the lawyer to find out about the rooms. I looked up the statute today for the reserves. Okay, so that,
Okay, but what
that is
talks
part,
about
Karen, but
pavers? You were talking
Okay.
about pavers.
I'm just trying to explain how this committee got started and what our responsibility was going forward. Not to sit here and place blame somewhere else, but to gather information for the villas, because it is the first time that the villas are part of this community, and find out what's going on. And that's what we did. That's what we did originally when we formed the board.
So
When they
that's
asked
what
us to do the subcommittee, to ask about the
How does
pay,
that-
Karen, let me finish.
Go ahead.
To ask about the pavers, to ask about the driveways. Okay, that was our main purpose here,
Okay.
to do that. And we
Okay.
did that, and we came up with the measurements as far as how far we can go. The board agreed to it. We submitted our findings to the board agreed
So
to
what did
it.
the
So now
statute-
what you're saying is you want to change them, which is fine. So you have to come to us with the background for it, okay? What are Osceola rules? What are your exact measurements?
Do you have them
We
when you did it the first time? Do you have the Osceola rules for the first time?
No,
I wasn't involved in it the first time because I was back home. I wasn't here,
Okay,
no.
but
you're quoting me what I need to do it, so I'm asking you if you know that you need the Osceola rules. Can I see them? Do you have the Osceola rules?
This is what I'd like you to do, Karen, because you have a lot of questions. Formulate those and let
I'm
me send
sorry?
those. Send me a written what you want.
We already did that.
you have your measurements?
No,
We
no,
did.
no,
We
but
gave
you're
it to
asking,
you.
hold on.
Yeah,
Let
I'm
me-
pretty sure she
Let me touch this.
Right here.
No, I got that part. But but you're
Right
asking,
here, honey.
but what you're asking for is how did they get to this? So if you want to know.
Well, she brought it up.
You're-
Robin brought that up, that there was a process. So I'm asking her, what was the process you went through? She brought up Osceola County.
So what I
So
want.
tell me, what did Osceola County say?
So what I want
is
you to
that?
do is you send me an email.
I did it
Exactly.
already.
No, that's about what you want to change there. you want to know the process. You're asking me what was the process to get to
Well,
the initial.
what is it, when he was there, William, Andrew was
I
there,
did it.
so what was the process?
Okay,
So
so-
can we have that in writing?
No, nothing, we never talked to Osceola County, we've never.
Okay, so then she's quoting Osceola County, so I don't understand.
No,
what
but
the
that's
We're
just what
just,
the-
it came back from the board that to move this forward or for any further consideration, they want to know if there's any stops from Osceola County, if there's any provisions. There was question between if it goes from, they just wanted to clarify if it goes from your property edge, I'm trying to remember all the way back to them. Your property edge to your property edge. If you are my neighbor and we connect, does it make provision for tying in? How does that tie in between your half and my half if I do it? So to your point, if you already have a pavered system and then I'm going to add mine and mine's bigger than yours, how does mine tie into yours? Or are we gonna sit there and you're gonna have your concreted insides
And maybe that's why they.
lock
maybe
into
that's
your
why they
lock
originally
in.
just
That's when the
approved it.
And then,
the word
and then
setback
what
being
kind of
brought in there,
weeds,
because that's
and you
where
can't
that comes
just
in.
do that to each
Official
other's yard.
Right.
But isn't that my property? My property is on one
With setbacks,
side,
because her
and,
property's there too.
but my property goes on one side of my AC and on the other side of the, so what's the difference to my property by this side of the AC or my property on that side of the AC?
That's all the stuff they want to be more defined and specific of.
And they also,
I don't understand that.
they also said that remember they did not want us to raise the patios. They wanted them to be ground level so the lawnmowers can go right over them. So they don't have to worry about going in and out of all that stuff. That was.
But why would they want to go over pavers?
They
Doesn't
can't
make
go over
sense.
the
That's what they
pavers.
said.
No,
They
that
can't-
makes no sense.
Does anybody remember the same?
But
That
Donna,
was me.
yes,
Well, let's-
Donna, they can't go
I
over
do.
they can't go over the pavers because if they do,
Let's move.
they're gonna run into my air conditioner. You got this much space between the pavers and the air conditioner.
Right.
So they can't,
Right.
why
Well,
would they run over?
They use a trimmer along that part.
Well, they're not,
But I mean-
that's all they can do because they can't run over my
Right now what they're
pavers.
doing is they're going like this. They're not
They
even.
can't run over my pavers because
That's
they run into
what
the air
they said.
conditioner.
That's what.
Well, let's do this, guys. Let's get some clarification. Let's move on to the next.
Okay,
next.
so the next thing I want to know, I wanted to know what is the water bill for the village?
And we asked about that.
I want to see it last year and I want to see it
And I
this year.
believe that is.
I don't know why
that
we
is-
can't
that
get
is-
that.
Is that not available to be pulled up in the budget?
Because we believe we were overcharged, Andrew believed that we were overcharged considerably in 2021. So we want to see the water bill for 2021 and 2022.
And I'd also like to see, including in the water bill, is the landscape bill.
Right, you put, right,
Right?
yep. You asked
Okay,
that.
now, why the landscaping?
Can we-
Not the
can we-
lands,
wait,
we
can we
don't
just-
pay for that separate.
That's not separate.
No.
Yeah, it's
The
part of,
houses gets landscaping, we get landscaping, so that doesn't make
Can
any
we go
difference,
forward?
right?
Hold on. We
mean, there's-
really, okay,
Sorry.
what we're doing, guys, is that we're really not respecting one another here when we're talking over one another. So let's do this one at a time,
Okay.
and everything's gonna be okay. I know we got a lot of energy, but let's make sure that we taking our time now, making sure that everybody gets a chance to finish what they're saying. And I believe you were saying something about was it the water bill versus the landscaping?
Well, okay, and I asked this in the meeting the other night, I said, what I would like to know is, what do the houses get? Because I was trying to figure out why our HOA fees were as high as the second biggest house. And there's 20 villas on one side of the road, there's 8 houses on this side of the road, and that same amount of space.
Right.
So they're getting $400 for each 20 of those properties. On this side where there's houses, you're only getting $400 for 8 houses. So they're making, that's only for one side. That's not even the back or
Really
anything.
good.
So they're making a lot of money off of these, in my mind. Okay, so that's why I wanted to straighten it out. A lot of money off of these villas because, we're, and I added it up, it was $9,800 HOA versus they were paying $3,900 for HOA. So, and our lots are 20 foot which is like 2 swipes of the lawnmower. So that's why I was saying our grass, what is the house is getting that we're not, they're getting
Right.
landscaping, we get landscaping. They get mowing, we get mowing. We get water, they don't. So what is it that makes our HOA so much higher to theirs to make it, that's where the water thing is coming in at.
And
Such a great question.
it is.
Exactly, that's why.
That's a great
I
question.
realize not only one.
But we have a
Water,
separate water bill.
termite, and then landscape.
Landscape.
Literally, we just take
But why do you say landscaping?
well, because the landscape bill, they, like, each area, that's why it was tiered out.
Right.
The
But the houses
landscaper
get
gives us,
landscaping,
but
right?
they give us, there's a price that they provide us that they charge for each lot size.
Okay, so what
And
is
then-
our
Right.
lot size fee?
I don't have it off the top of my
Okay.
head, but I
No, I didn't
have
think you
it.
did, but if you could, that
No,
would be
yeah,
great.
yeah, yeah.
But that's what we've been asking
Yeah.
for years.
So it's
we
just,
have
and
the
it's, so, and
landscaping
it's
basic.
literally,
We just
TJ and I
have the
just
front.
did that, plus your water, plus your termite bill.
And
And that's it.
Our lot size is the whole area of the 92 houses and all that grass is associated.
Well, we pay for
Divided by
that.
92.
Like,
Right.
for our
That's
water.
That's what I'd like to know, David, what the price
It
is.
doesn't fit one end unit
Should be
versus
divided by
the big end unit glass
Divided
area.
by 92.
You know, it's just-
But we don't have no landscaping in the back. All we have is that one
Sure you
front
do.
that
You
they
got it.
don't really
Well, when I say
landscape.
landscaping, I mean, it's the whole thing.
Mowing.
It's the mowing, the trim, the, whatever, the edging, the mulch, the trim, all that stuff of,
So
caveat.
that's being compared to the houses? Is that why ours is different? I mean, is that why it's because the houses have bigger landscaping, front and back, and more grass. So I'm thinking our landscaping is a very small portion to what a house's landscaping is gonna be.
Yeah, I'd have to get you the
All
number.
right, if you could do that, and the
Rated is
termite,
what you're
and the termite fund also, how much is that a year?
I think it was close to 10,000.
How much?
Just for the villas?
Yeah, it's just the, that's.
Yeah, we're the only ones that have the termite.
Yeah, no, everyone else is
Termite
paying for
fund,
it.
right.
Termite is included.
Sounds a lot too.
So water and
I've
termite
never
is.
seen them do our termites.
But she can, I think what understood her to say is that she can divide those prices and quite naturally, then we'll get a better feel for what we are looking at. Because I zoomed in on the meeting as well, and I did see the difference. I'm like, this is a lot for us compared to
Yeah.
what some of the larger houses are having, so.
That's a very good point.
And I'm kind of surprised that they don't have, I know we're doing it in Zoom, but I'm kind of surprised that they don't do minutes as well.
There is minutes on
For the board, they do minutes, they don't put them online until they approve them.
Right,
Okay.
so it should be a month or two behind. Like last night, they just put on the October meeting, so that's how I knew to ask these questions.
Okay, got it, okay.
Well,
So we do
I know
have
that
minutes as available.
And I didn't
The water-
look at the budget
water
meeting yet, because
costs,
after I was listening to the
for
October meeting.
sprinkler
We
water
were at the budget.
Yeah,
is the same cost
No,
as for
because we have
domestic
pump.
water without sewage.
We were at the budget.
So you
meeting.
pay, the fee is exactly.
It's pretty much
the
set in
same
stone. It's not
per
gonna
unit.
change. It's proposed, but it's set.
Okay, well, she's gonna bring that information back, so let's continue on with the
Oh,
agenda
okay,
if we
sure.
can.
And, okay, so that's good, we took care of those, this rate. And you know, I may be beating a dead horse, but I really feel that the reserve for the fill is at $50 is quite onerous at a one-time shot. I would prefer that they cut it in half. I'm gonna send an email.
They
to-
wanted more.
No, but I know, but gradually build up. So my proposal is, let's start with 25, okay? And then the following year, 2024, go to 35. Because it's not just villa owners that were hit with 50, we were hit with an additional 45
Yes, I saw that. the
from the
other night.
general community, so there's $100 a month. But that's not done because you have the new Oasis Club coming up, they're probably gonna raise the Oasis fees, HOA fees, the masses, so we as villa owners could be looking at $150 a month in additional expenses that we didn't count on. So I would like the board to be more mindful of people that are on fixed incomes before they go, okay, it's $100 increase. I would prefer a gradual process.
I think
And
that-
and one other thing,
Mhm.
and there was a gentleman at the meeting who wanted to know, well, what do you see in the next 4 or 5 years as a need to have such a big reserve? Is there an immediate need, like, for instance, you need to replace something that costs a couple of $100,000? Or if you don't see that, then maybe we can gradually build up our reserves. That's all I'm saying.
Okay, you have to,
Okay.
we've already been a community for 2 years, right? Our houses, our villas were done 2 years ago, so we're gonna need painting within 3 years? Oh, 3 years. Most of us are cheap because we were pushed off because of COVID, so.
Yep.
But, so we're already 2 years behind on the reserve, and we're gonna need painting within 5 to 7 years, right? So that's why I feel that this reserve is at this point, because 2 years to 3 years, we haven't had a reserve. So in 2 years, 2 to 4 years, we're gonna need to paint.
But don't
So
forget
the paint-
also, not all the homes were built at the same time. So maybe, this section of homes in the front or this need to be painted in 3 more years.
They won't
The
do it, they'll
section
make
behind, well, you're not gonna do them all the same. They don't need it all at the same time. They were built.
There'll be different colors and they won't accept that the board. That's
So
what-
what I'm saying, they weren't built at the same time. So you can't paint them all at the same time.
But if you paint one building and not the other one, you'll see the difference in the
Well, why would
paint.
you
Because
paint
they
the
will paint them
building
all at the same
that
time
wasn't 7
be
years
ahead on
old,
one,
that's
a little
only
behind on the
4
other.
years old? Why would you do that? That makes no sense.
I don't know whether that has already passed for this budget, because from what I saw in the meeting the other night this was the budget, this was the approved budget
It's
for
a
next year.
proposed.
Was it proposed or approved? Proposed, okay. So again, I mean, listen, we can ask, but I do also think that we have to have some reasonable expectations. And that is, it's a process, and we've got to respect the process. The process that recommendation was sent forward, the board approved some things, and we came back. Now we want them to have a relook, and we can ask for anything. But at the same time, I still think that we have to respect the process, just like if someone came into this meeting and said, I demand answers right now, there's still a process. And so let's be reasonable, let's send it forward. I think that the feedback is something that is expected. But if sometimes the feedback is not what we want. And if there's a process, then we have, as a committee, have to decide, just like we did on the option to do the pavers, that, hey, do we want to ask for this? Or do we want to say, let's leave it alone? And then we can send our recommendation for it. But as an individual, I think you still have the option to say, this is what I like. You send it forward, they either can approve it or disapprove it. It don't die here in the committee.
Yeah.
Because you still have rights as an individual. But I do think that as a committee, that we need to make sure that we're being reasonable. I think that's important. Because when you're being seen as being unreasonable, I think you start making noise and people stop hearing you. I mean, if I'm wrong, please tell me. I just want to make sure that we're being reasonable in what we're asking. And that way, when something comes forward, we have
Well,
credibility.
reasonable is a funny word. What's reasonable to you may not be reasonable to
We understand.
You know?
But again, I will say that when I'm saying reasonable, I'm saying that if we ask certain things a certain way, I know that someone asked me certain things a certain way, eventually I'm gonna stop hearing.
Well said, well said.
Okay?
So what are you really trying to say? What's
So
your point? That
other,
$150 increase in your HOA a month is reasonable?
I didn't say that.
Well, why don't,
What I said was, I think that we have to choose our words carefully when we're asking
I
people.
get that,
And that's the
I get
other thing. We don't want to be just argumentatively
of course.
to be argumentative. We want to make sure that, like Robin said, that we have our facts together when we're asking things, so people can go to it and be able to pull it up and we're just asking vague things. And so that means that we've got to do our due diligence before we ask.
Okay.
That's my
I
point.
get your point.
and then the other thing with the reserves is, on the October meeting that I listened to last night, they said that they were gonna do it as discretionary, not statutory, which means that they can use it for anything, which I wanted to ask, but since I wasn't attending that meeting, I need to ask to find out whether That goes for the villa reserves.
The villa reserve
Or-
blocked. They've
So
said
that's
that
what you
right off.
said, but on the 10 meeting,
They were talking.
they were talking about discretionary for the
Yeah,
reserve
but they
fund.
were talking about if you sell a property, and I can't remember what the terms are, but there's it's currently $750. They want to raise it to
It's a
$2,000.
capital contribution.
But that goes into the general fund, so it's not, it's discretionary. And I've heard can't think of the accounting guy on the board. John, I've heard John say pointedly, the reserve for the villas, the reserve for here, the plaza, those are locked for that use only. Cannot be used for anything else.
The two differences on them was that there's some, and I forget the word too, it's been a day, but it's not that it's discretion, it's that it goes into a pooled scenario versus having to allocate. If you do it like a certain way, the statutory way of these dollars go to the roof, and if the front windows all get blown out, you can't use the roof money on the front windows. So you can pool it where you can use the first thing that goes down and let that get bigger and bigger
But
and
the
have
common
ability to
denominator
do.
would be that it's common ground, that we're doing a reserve for the common ground.
That's right.
So anything within the common grounds would be covered.
Yeah, but then there's the
But
villas
it is-
and there's the common elements, the shared common elements of the community, and then, or there's shared common elements that the villas have, and there's common elements. for the community.
So, but the villa money would be for the villa. And
Oh, yeah.
So
Well,
it
that's
could
what I
be
want.
for windows, it could be for roof, it could be for walls, as long as it's a common area.
Of the villas.
Or the other.
That's what I just wanted to
The two of them,
clarify.
the two are separate too.
Yeah.
The
Yeah, of course.
plaza.
I've read the
and
studies online.
The reserve for this
Okay.
building doesn't include the palm trees out in the pool. It's for the building.
Right, gotcha. Okay,
So-
makes
That's
sense.
what I just wanted to
They
make
talk about
sure.
the reserve for the village, it's for the villas.
So the next thing I was wondering about, if there was any way, and I really don't know, of decoupling the villas, that they would stand alone like homes. And that each villa owner would be responsible for their own roofing, would be responsible for their own painting. I don't know.
And again, now you
Would the
have-
board know that? Is that a
But
possibility?
correct me if I'm wrong, do we not have a law here in Florida because of this situation that happened in Miami? That there was a law passed that the condos must have a reserve fund?
You
So I
don't
think
qual,
with- I
you're
mean,
not a
no,
condo,
we're
you
not
don't
a
classify
condo,
under
but
condo,
what do we-
you're the 720 statute,
uh,
but regardless, we're behind on
Yeah.
reserves.
Right, so,
It makes me-
but we're not dealing with a law, we're saying that this is what we're going to do. Are we not governed by that law at all? We just, this is something we decided we're going to do locally.
I went to my class for CAM, but I have not taken the test yet, so
Okay,
like I'm still
okay,
learning, don't quote me.
Okay, because I was
I'm
under
trying.
the impression that was what was driving this, but maybe not.
Is it
But
possible?
once you do it under 720, and you collect reserves and you call it reserves, it has to be used for.
Well, it makes sense, it makes sense. But I'm wondering, is there any possibility of decoupling these villages, that they would stand alone like homes?
Amendment 5.
It would have voted,
Get
like if they
it.
voted in the villa, is it possible?
You have shared common elements.
Yeah, then somebody wanted this color roof, somebody wants that color roof, this color house.
Well, you could still have
And then it's
standards for
why
colors, but then you would be, instead of everybody and 92 people, but your home being involved.
I guess the question I heard, somebody was talking, said, okay, so what if the leak is right right on the line of the two houses? Who's going to go with it? Who's responsible for that? So that is shared. So that's kind of hard to separate. I see that. If you don't have and you have common walls.
I mean,
So they're
20 years
shared.
from now, how can you shingle one roof? They don't even make the shingles anymore.
Yeah.
You gotta do all the
Yeah.
roofs to make them.
I kind of get that part of it.
And
And you're right, Kathy, you're sharing walls, so that,
I kind of get that part. I don't like it, but I get that part of it.
now my neighbor is lousy, noisy.
Mine's really noisy.
she's lucky.
I don't get it. I mean, I get it, but I don't, you don't have to like it, but
And
that's the
really,
way it is.
and then I have a very important question. I would like to know what happens when it comes time to paint? That's question number, you're 5. If, God forbid, there's not enough money, let's say the paint they're making it cost 100,000, and we only have 80,000 because whatever homes never paid into the reserve, right? And I don't know how you're gonna handle that month to month, that you're gonna, but anyway, we have a shortfall now we have to paint. Do I have anything in writing that tells us how that will be proceeded? How do you go forward in that situation if you have a shortfall of whatever?
I'm
Get a
not 100%
special
sure they could special
There'll be a
assess the
special
balance.
assessment.
Yeah. That
So,
way-
but what happens now? The 50 homes got that special assessment because 10 homes didn't contribute their reserve. And I go, oh my God, I don't have that 25,000. I've been putting in my $54 a month, like I'm supposed to. And then you come to me 3 or 4 years later and say, we got to assess you 25,000, but I don't have it. I already paid my share. How does that go? And I'd like to see that in writing. You know, I don't want to
You
get.
could find it, right? I don't know.
Well, how do we handle that?
I heard that statement, that's how it's done, and
But I know
you're right. I have
want
no writing, I
something-
just heard it said.
It says it in the statutes, in the Florida statutes.
What, can you show it to me? I want to see it in writing.
I did, I told you, I Googled it. It was,
What does it say? I mean, you don't have to show it to me now, but
look it up.
What does
Google
it-
Florida statutes for
For what?
reserves. And you'll see it in, that it says they can
You gotta
charge a
find it the
special
same way I do.
assessment.
Searching and reading.
Google.
Well, they'll probably put a lien on somebody's property.
So now I'm gonna have a lien on my property because
Kicking
I
you.
don't have the money to pick up my fellow owners? What happens then? And she don't have the money, and he don't have the money, and so now another 50 or 60 of Villa don't have that extra 25,000. What happens?
Well, the $54 we're spending, what was told to me, will not cover the painting in the next 5 years. So we will probably have a special
But you're
assessment.
assuming all the houses need to be painted at the same time. I'm disagreeing with that because they won't all built and painted at the
I'm
same time.
not making the rules, Karen. I'm
I
just
know, I
showing you.
understand that, but I don't see anything in writing about anything.
But I think Robin just told you that you got to Google that.
I Googled
Yeah, but-
Florida statutes
Okay, but
for
you-
reserves, and
Yes.
in the reserves, it explains everything. And it's a page long, a half page long. Google Florida statutes for,
720 reserves.
yes, 720 reserves, yes.
So if the money that we are collecting, the $54 that we're collecting now is not even including in the painting, I mean, there's been a crack on the building across the street from us since,
Since the builders built it.
yeah. So,
Since we moved in.
I mean, that's neither here nor there, but what I'm saying,
It's been there for 2 years.
You get no response.
Well, I had.
I'm almost ready to go over there and paint it myself, because I'm so tired of looking at it.
Except that the paint won't match.
I know.
You got to paint all,
Right, you gotta paint the whole house down.
The whole building.
I changed my
every
mind.
building.
Okay, so back to
It's not gonna
the,
be so noticeable. if
the
you
termite
just put one
bonds.
as
It
opposed
says that we're
to- yeah.
supposed to have an inspection. Who inspects the termite
It's
traps? The home team?
Home team.
So how do we know that they're actually doing that? Because I've never seen anybody do anything.
I saw home team out and about today, but I don't know what they.
I'm gonna say, I saw them out there, and I said something to TJ too, that I wanted to meet with them as well, just to,
I think it'd be nice if we all got a notice that
they're
the
gonna,
termite inspection is being done, or that it was done. We have something in writing to say it was done.
I can be up.
Now, I have a contract with home team, so they come quarterly and they spray for
You
bugs.
did that separately.
Right.
I did that
Yeah.
separately,
Because
and when they do that, they check my termite.
And did you get Camille, did you get a price on that, what that's costing us?
10,000.
It is 10,000 a year for all 92 villas.
But I'm sure they'll give us some feedback as to how many, what they did, and how many they did
Yeah.
when they did it. So you guys do have the
So,
feedback.
but if they find that it's low, do they put that termite treatment in for you?
There's no termite treatment. There's a piece of wood in there, what he explained to me, is
Yeah.
there's a piece of wood in that green thing.
Okay.
When you pull it out, if there's anything done on the piece of wood, then they'll treat. But if not,
Do you have a little, talk about this big and beige on the side of your house, any place?
Yes, we all do.
a what?
Do you have it too?
For the spray?
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, our houses were built with.
There,
The Terminix.
there's a thing on the side so they can spray and go.
Yeah, that's
up
what he
through the
does.
house.
But that's an extra thing. You don't
That's
have
That's
to do
extra.
that.
They charge me extra quarterly to come and spray,
That's
and
all
he'll
part
come
of-
into,
That's all part of the termite protection that should be done.
no. They charge me separately for the pest control.
Well, pest, yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, which is that white box that he sprays the,
That's awesome.
So if you don't have the pest controller, you
Yeah, I
still
think
getting
so. You
that
put, like,
termite control
roaches,
like it's supposed to be getting.
pesticide stuff up there?
yeah, so he doesn't come in to the house. But if I wanted to come into the lanai, I have to, when we're here, I open the door so he can come in and spray in the lanai.
Yeah, the servicing was before First Service was here, so that's why I wanted to reach out to them and see how.
Because because not everybody has that, right? You don't have them come, they don't have them come. Do you have them come?
home team,
You have home team
and they
come.
come quarterly, and I have them spray everywhere.
Right.
Even
Correct.
when
You're paying
inside.
special, you're paying special for.
Then you're paying for it.
Yeah, we pay extra for it.
But my question is going back to this is something that the village is supposed to have, that the houses don't have. So the ones that don't have that, are we still getting that done because we're not paying extra? We're not gonna do their house because, we'll just forget about them or we won't.
So-
I mean, but I've never seen them come and
Get
do
another
it.
advisor,
Right,
extra board
that's
to
what he
do it.
said.
So basically,
Yeah, get it.
what I'm hearing is that we want to have a breakdown on what we're paying for, itemized rather than all together.
Well, we have this.
So the termite would be $109 a year
This is
per
from,
villa. That's what that comes out to be.
For the termite bond.
Is that reasonable?
I don't know. I have no
When did
idea.
they
Is this according specifically to what we're paying from our HOA?
Supposedly,
It doesn't sound bad when you
What
put
is
it
it?
down like that.
But if they're not doing it, I mean, my pants are in a.
Oh, the term.
I
Is that what they
I
gave
saw
you?
them do mine the last summer.
this.
I know they did mine.
Oh my God.
Not my termite,
17th, I can move in and.
not my termite.
that's when it was up.
And I don't get pest control. I don't do that. I do my own.
There's something on the other side, maybe it tells you what the date is, we got it from the board.
Oh, you know what?
You get it from David? Did you give it to us? No?
This would be some great to have a copy of.
So
What
you
is that?
should have a record, Keneal, somewhere when they did that termite control, right?
Yeah, that's what
What do you got there, Karen?
I never saw this before.
What is it?
What exactly is a termite bond?
Unless I printed it out myself, I don't think so, but could be.
But that's from
Does it say my friend?
2017 March,
March of 2017?
Well, that's,
2017.
I didn't move in until February of 2020, so.
yeah.
Yeah, well, that's what I'm saying.
Well, the first villas weren't built until
Well, once they do the
2019.
bond, they do the bond and then they treat, they have to do the,
Right.
my husband let our bond expire, just so our green things are. No,
Like I said, just put a little flyer
Unless I
on the
just
door.
looked it up, did I just look it up?
You've been treated with termite, quarterly or however, so we know that they actually.
You should
know
get a
me?
notice.
I think termite bond is once a year.
You know me, I'm a pain, so maybe I looked it up myself and printed it out, but I thought it came when I asked the question when we first started with the Villa Subcommittee. Would you like it?
no, I'm okay, because I'm gonna reach out to them
And make sure-
Harass 'em.
Okay.
You're gonna reach out to.
now that budgets are done, I get to start harassing
Get to-
people.
What are you
It's
gonna
gonna be
get us?
fun.
What are you gonna get us?
Talk to Home
So the
Depot.
termite bond is 10,000,
Yeah, yeah.
you got that. So if
10,000
the board,
even?
10,000 even for the termite bond.
40, like,
So you're saying it's 10,000 a year for the villas
Yeah.
$109 per villa,
That's 92.
per year?
about, yeah.
Yeah.
What's the water?
40,000.
40,000 a year.
The water.
Just the
Yes, it makes kind of
Is
excessive.
that even? 40,000 even?
Ish. That's what I wrote down.
Wait a minute, doesn't that sound excessive? Why is that, so what year was that for, the 40,000?
Calculating.
2021?
I used 2021, the end of 2021 into 2022.
It's $435 a year. per bill, per villa.
Divide that
Wait,
by
this is,
monthly,
said
it's about
2020,
$30 a
20,
month.
was that a budget number? I don't understand, how could it be 2023?
Oh, yeah,
Yeah, but it's, because it's historical.
$37, $36 a month.
For this year.
Wait a minute, what was the actual water for the villas for the year
Yeah.
2021?
I don't have that right with my
They don't
brain
have
right
it.
now.
No, but I mean, when you came back with
I'm sure.
40,000, and
I
it's
agree.
meaningless to me, what's the actual number? What's the actual water bill for the villas for December 2021, for the whole year?
Don't know, I don't have that. I
Can you
didn't
get that
do
for me?
December.
Can you get that for me? Thank you,
At
honey.
some point.
I would even.
We'll add it to
monthly,
the list,
just
but you're
a
not giving
monthly
me
bill.
work for tomorrow. I'm sorry, Ken. I have a very busy week. I just got done with that
Wait.
budget. I'm like, I'm moving on.
Well, the only reason we're asking is,
But why is that so
44,000.
difficult to get? It's an actual number.
Well, because I have to go figure out on the bills which one of the utilities is yours and add it, which TJ did,
Go ahead.
but I don't have all of it. He doesn't say, it's all
When
in
you were
the
saying add it, go ahead.
total. What's that?
So you added it each month is to come up with the number, is that what
Yeah.
you did? Okay, so you have, okay, actual for 2020,
And I think we were recommended to do, I think
and
it was, if
year
I'm not
to date.
mistaken, 7 or 8% increase in water. It was 13.5 for Duke, 7 or 8% for water. And
Talking about the budget.
Once we do, I'm sorry, but once we do a budget, we are actually gonna get the actual billing, right?
The what?
We'll do a budget, so this is what we're estimating, but we will actually get the actual billing from them, right?
Bill.
From last
the
year.
bill each month.
A bill.
You should be able
So in
to.
other words, when I'm doing a budget, we say, okay, I'm gonna budget this, I'm gonna add 5 to whatever percent. So that's what I'm gonna budget to make sure we have enough funds there.
Yeah.
But we do actually get an actual bill of what they charged us,
Yeah.
which is gonna be different from what we budget. Hopefully we'll have some carryover.
That's what I want, the budget is meaningless. You want to know what are the actual.
Well, and again, and
Compare
that's,
them, yes.
and that's what we're asking, and that's what we're gonna form. That's what we're gonna put together, that's what we're gonna send to her, so she'll fully understand what we're asking her for and give her some time to get back with us on that. And I think that's what we're gonna do.
That's fine.
Then I'd like to know also if the actual is less than what was budgeted, where does that excess go?
In our reserve, hopefully.
I hope so, because.
That's another good
Yeah,
point.
I would like to know
And
that.
that's a-
And let me say also that maybe what we're not getting, and the reason we're asking and bombarding you with so many things is that when these things happen that are unique to the villa, how is it distributed out to us to keep us informed? Because it'll be a lot easier if we got it on the front end. You
Yeah.
know? I mean, because this is what we budgeted, this is what we paid, and hopefully the budget was more than what we were actually billed. So we do have some money that was
Well,
carried
that's
forward.
efficient.
Should have
Very
some
good.
excess.
Do we move that money forward to the next year? Do we shift that money over to another?
Where is that money, yeah?
Where did that money go? Because it just don't go away. You know?
Right.
So those are the type of things we're asking. And like I said, maybe we can open up some lines of communication where, where you're not going back and double working, because we're not interested in making work
Of
weekend,
course.
you know?
Do we
And
have
that's-
financial statements for 2021? Do we know our actual financial statements as of December 31st?
All of your financials are on Connect. All you have to do is.
Some of
go
them
in
just
and
got
log in.
there.
Okay.
Some of them were just
So you
put on.
have an actual,
Yeah,
but
it
you
took me that long to get them.
I know, believe me, we know, we dealt with that a
They
long
didn't give
time.
me them.
That's why we're asking you all these questions, because
we never got
we asked
answers.
these questions back then and never received
Correct.
any information.
Yeah.
So,
So, and then it's
Still
lumped
missing a couple.
together, it was lumped together, if you look at last year's budget, the bond and the landscaping and the water. So
It was
that's
all
why we
one
had to
number?
put,
so what you're saying is
Plus-
one number?
plus last year, the water was leaking all over the place.
Yeah.
Yeah, I heard that.
So,
And that's why we put,
Leaking in with a lot of heavy water from the south.
yeah.
So it's really.
Well, that was really the year before, right,
It was going on
2020,
last year,
okay.
down on Trappers
Oh,
Trail.
Trappist Trail. right,
We tried to
Trappist
only
Trail.
use historicals for back till like September and then, because we were far enough in that we had,
That should have pretty well.
it
So
looked like it. It looked like.
I don't
any
know the
peaks.
answer to this. The financials, are the financials broken out by the villa amount for the water? When they did I don't really know because I don't remember, I haven't seen it. Do you know? If you look at a financial statement, will it say villa water, villa landscaping, I don't know, I have to really check it, I guess.
Probably not. And the other thing that I wonder about is you have villa
I need to
watering,
find that out.
and then you have places like the North Pool watering.
Common,
which are
there's
not-
common areas
Which are
all
common
over.
areas that are still coming in on for Toho, probably is just a standard. This doesn't go to a homeowner that is going here.
Yeah, there's a
But
lot
we have,
of
but
water.
we have meters on our villas. So I would think that, because I get a water bill as well.
Yeah, but
Yeah.
you don't get a
Irrigation.
irrigation bill.
Right, but if we're saying that as villas, that we're paying a certain amount as a villa owner, then I would think that should be broken down by the villas.
Exactly.
I
But
would
we
think
don't
that
know,
would be
we
the
don't
case.
have a financial in front of us to know that answer.
I
I need to
understand
check.
it, but
It's a good question.
But you know what, you're gonna do very good notes, and we're gonna ask her for those, and we're gonna get them up with.
Wait, I know what you're
I'm
saying.
gonna send you
We're gonna
right
get-
back to
we're
the
gonna get
financial
those.
statements on Connect.
We're gonna-
I'm gonna make you do your
Look at the
homework.
We're gonna get-
If does the financial statements on Connect have the budget versus actual? Oh,
No.
I think so for icons, and I'm trying to remember what ours looks like. I'm
Still new to first service.
Okay, right, because we haven't seen the financials because they just
They just came out, yeah, they were
came
just
out,
put on.
just like October.
And then it's hard to find them once
You
you.
know, that was the most
On Connect.
important question.
But I didn't put connects or icons under financials. They're under association documents because I
Right.
first service won't say that
Oh,
they're.
that's
in.
why, that's
Yeah.
why, because I'm like, why are there some here, why are there some here? I didn't get, nobody, we didn't know that.
What, I didn't hear what you.
Send out an email and tell people that, because people don't know.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, because since they're
Confusing.
icons, we didn't want to put them under financials because they weren't ours. We didn't prepare them.
Right.
Right.
Is there comparables, also, like if it says, so hey, landscaping, villa landscaping, comparable to a 40-foot, 60-foot, 80-foot house, whatever, well, they're paying for the landscaping $80, or we're paying, what are we paying compared to?
I
We
mean,
have that,
it's on the slide that was up there. I mean, so when you read the slide, it's the 40, I put the PowerPoint online. So it's the 40s landscaping is
Is
here.
that prorated perchance?
In the 50s, I'm gonna limit the number of questions you're asking.
No, but look at, there's a number
60
here.
here.
How did you get to that number?
It's the landscapers. I mean, this is what they charge us
Oh, so they're saying
by lot size.
for the fifth-
They tell
oh.
us, I don't
They
do
don't,
it.
right, they tell us what the.
This is this
Their
is the
bid-
number,
their
this is
bid
the
is
price
based on-
for 60 lots, this is the bid, this is what we're charging for 50, then we just put it in there. Like
But that-
I'm no expert
but I
at
think that's good
landscaping,
information.
trying to be.
But I think that's good information for us, because
Yeah.
again, if we feel like we're being overcharged for what we're getting, then maybe we can send that up to flat quote as well and say, I
We
know
need to
the
divide it
contractors want
by
to charge us that, but
My
the
each
number
of
what
of
we have, this
homes
is not-
that are
this is
that
not fair.
size.
I like what Donna said about
What's
the 8 houses across the street versus how many villa owners
That's a smart
in
answer.
the same amount of land.
Told the landscape and whatever you.
The only thing that, the assessments are made up of the administrative, the food, the golf, and the plaza. The only thing that's different, because those are enjoyable amenities by household, the ones that are different that had different charges were the landscape. And then you have landscape, irrigation, termites
And all
in
lumped
yours.
together.
So for your 92, it was 114,000 basically for the year.
That's all lumped together, right? Not
Correct.
separated?
Right, that's
Divided by
why.
that 92, yeah.
Is there any way to?
But we need it
see that
separated.
Yeah.
Actual bill?
Well,
I would like to see that bill. Can we see that bill?
We should have bills, you should have bills at least from June
the
to,
budget, it's not a bill.
Correct. So I would like to see the actual
We
bill.
do.
Correct. Because you just told me that the landscaper says, well, your lot size is X, your lot size is Y. So is there a bill? There must be a
Well, you would
bill
be able to
supporting that.
see the contract once it's signed. Once we have the RFP done,
Okay,
the contract will
so the
be,
contract
You
has the
would
prices.
yeah, you would
Okay.
just request and have to be consistent with everyone. So you have to do your certified mail request to see the documents or contracts and name out the specific one you want to see.
Is there
And learning
a
the
form?
rules.
Is there a form? Like I know
No,
in the
it's
school
in
district,
writing,
we had a
it's the
form.
statute, it's the statute.
Okay.
Forgot the number.
So you can't just come into the office and say, can I have a copy of the
No.
contract?
So we have to request
what
it.
happens
By
to
certified mail.
Yeah, with a receipt.
Did you just hear that? Certified mail?
It's
Can
in
we
the
come into
statute,
the office
that
and
way
have
we're
them-
consistent in
Said no.
doing it, because
It's a
it's
Florida
there
thing.
for money.
It's Florida statute.
It's there to
Did you know
control
that?
the
And
number
time. I
of
got it.
people that are coming in, and it's to be consistent, that are just saying, I want to see all the contracts. You know how much work.
I think that we can do it as a committee.
As a committee.
Okay, good.
And once we
Good
get it,
point.
we can share it. So it ain't got to be, we can do it just one time. We can
Good.
pull our little pennies together and pay for the
And go to
certified
the
letter.
post office.
And I think we can do that one time and be okay.
Good idea.
I mean, that's what we did at the school district.
Why can't the contracts be put online? Is there a law against that?
It's not it's in a lot of the contracts because they're proprietary
Yes,
to
I
each
figured
community.
you
So
were-
we've negotiated something, they don't want that out there and getting to another community that they're bidding on in a different way.
Okay.
I get it.
Yeah.
But the funny thing is, once you give it to me after I certified mail, I could show it to
You can put it
everybody.
online to
Well,
everybody.
no, I only let you
Right.
I let you look at it and printed, you can look at it, I don't give it to you, and you can photocopy it at your cost, so yeah, you could.
You could.
So now-
It's all written out in that
What is
statute,
statute?
25 cents per copy.
It's silly.
More than
It's a silly
25.
statute.
No, that's what, yeah, but that's how it is in New York too, when I did it for the school district. You know,
It's pretty
the only
standard.
time we didn't charge is when we were allowed to email them. Otherwise, we charged them.
Yeah,
And you had to have it within 90 days of response.
just each
request for
contract is
information.
negotiated differently, and they don't want to let their
Oh, wow.
secrets out.
Okay, where are we at now, Karen, on our
Oh,
agenda?
well, that's it. I think
We're about
we're
to-
done. Your question, my question.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, yeah, now, the guy,
Okay.
what he said to me was that when he came into his place, he had a leak in the roof. And he believed that this was something that was a problem with when it was built. And so what he wanted to know was that whether Lennar has got any responsibility for his roof at this point.
Robin can answer that question.
Absolutely not.
Well,
If it didn't happen within the first year, which is what I was told, this is my personal experience with my home, because before we even moved in, we had the hole in the roof.
But I do think that we owe him to at least send it forward and like she say, let them respond.
This is a renter though?
Excuse me?
This is a renter or an owner?
I believe it's an owner.
I thought he said.
Did
he's a
they
renter.
He
ask
said
you?
he's renting a
Have
home.
they-
I thought
He sent me
said
an
he's a
email.
renter.
And I told him that I would forward it.
He's
Right, but-
asked, yeah, us.
But is he one of the ones who has the chalk on? Or his chalk
I don't
wasn't
think
put
so,
on?
no.
Oh, so did you forward it to Keneal? Because Keneal's been, right, am I wrong?
But
Have you been?
he said when he came in, it had nothing to do with the
The
hurricane.
hurricane?
Right,
He
Right.
just had a leak, and
yeah.
we don't
And so-
manage anything but
And
doing
actually what
that.
happened, Neil sent me an email that said there was someone that had some concerns in the villa. I told him, gave him my email. He sent me the email and I told him that I would forward it. So again, I wanted to touch on this in the meeting. And once we formulate our notes, because obviously we have a lot of things that we need to send forward. So Karen, you and I need to have a side-by meeting to make sure we got everything in place that we want to ask, okay? Because I want to make sure that when we send things forward, I just want to make sure that we have clarified what we're doing. So we're not just creating more Q&A. Let's just try to get it as close to what we want to ask and do as much research as we possibly can. So that way we can send it straight forward to them. They understand what we're asking and they can respond to us. And then we'll know what next step to take. Because we have talked about a lot of things and asked a lot of things today. And we do appreciate, everything. But I do think that although it's been a lot, it's justified. Because we have a lot of concerns and the actual bill themselves, there are no secrets. I mean, if we can come in and ask for them, and we can ask one time in the committee, and then we can share their information as needed legally. You know what I'm saying? That
That's
way,
all.
when villa people have some concerns, especially within the committee, then we can at least get the information into the committee and we can respond and provide our minutes as well. That's my feeling that's how I feel like we should address. Because if 1,000 people come at you, it's kind of tough. You know, it really-
One person,
I
one
have my own though, right?
representative. Right.
I'm kidding. You're not that bad.
We appreciate it.
Yes, we do. Appreciate you being here. on this.
We appreciate, Camille, you being here and helping us, and you have to understand, it's kind of frustrating that we've been asking for the same information
cute.
for years
Isn't
and have
it?
not received it, which is not your fault because you have not been here.
Like, you
So
know,
we do appreciate you giving us some answers today.
Thank you,
That
thank
really
you.
Thank you.
helps us, and
My pleasure.
Andrew has a question. Yes,
He's
Andrew?
so polite.
Guys, I've been on the facilities committee for a year, and on their agenda every month, they have a villa section. During these meetings that I sat through for a year, it'd go villa, and we'd just go to the next topic. So I finally asked Peter, I said, Peter, why don't we talk about the villas when it's on the agenda? The answer I got was because the villa committee doesn't share anything with the facilities committee, and the facilities committee doesn't ask the villa committee anything.
Yeah.
So there's a disconnect here, guys. So we need to establish a connection between the two committees to try to move forward with some of these things. Right now, we're separate entities.
Right.
We're not supposed to be, but that's kind of how things are working. So just kind of keep that in mind moving forward.
So do you want them to have our minutes? What
They
is it
want
that
new
you-
business. They
New
want
business.
an update on new
Okay.
business every month, and then they'll throw that out on the facilities committee meeting, is what I was told.
Okay.
So do you want, so what is it, like the
So let,
president of the subcommittee or whoever it's called,
Well,
got to
whoever,
go to the facilities meeting to tell them what the minutes are? Or what the new
well,
businesses?
however they want to run the committee.
There's one more thing on the agenda, William. What's that? I just found out at 7:30 last night that I'm on the facilities committee for the next.
All right, we got to get.
Here's my letter to resign from this
Or
committee.
resign from
because I
the.
can't be on both. But I suspect I will probably end up being the liaison back.
yes.
So you're officially resigning?
I am officially resigning.
Okay, well, I don't know. That seems like the popular thing to do now.
25,
So
20.
now we've gone, what, from 6 to 4? We'll
Yeah,
talk
so
to
we need
Thelma.
to get members on really before the next board meeting.
Okay.
Well, the thing is, sadly, a lot of the villa members, and we know this because we don't, I'm not here all year, I can't, that's why we're not doing it anymore.
No worries.
There's a lot of renters, there's a lot of renters in the area. And there's a lot of people that I have made, there's two people on the street, just at this meeting, I said, there's a big budget meeting, you're gonna come to it? No, people don't care.
Yeah, that's
So it's
okay.
hard to get a vote in
But that's
or
okay.
to get somebody to volunteer to do a meeting when they don't even,
There's people out there that do want to do it down there.
Yeah, there are people that do and people that don't.
And I think what happens is that once we send the information out and we can send it through distribution to let them know that we are interested in. And I've got to do a better job of just reaching out. And hopefully we can do a face-to-face with the facility, a person from this facility, because I think it'll clear up a lot of things. I think a face-to-face would be good. Just
Okay,
try to set up something, and you going too.
I don't mind.
Yeah, you gotta go too,
I was
okay?
here today at 2, actually.
Yeah, but I think that probably helps, because, I think good idea that we do need to build a relationship with them, because if we're not communicating our concerns to them, then they're not
I like
communicating
that.
to them.
It's very important.
I think that's kind of Peter's, he should have relayed that information and let the villas committee know that.
Yeah,
They need,
she's right. They could have
I'm not
reached out.
disagreeing with that statement, Kathy.
Yeah.
Well, most things are push-pull, so
Yeah.
let's just, we love that to come down, but if it don't, we're gonna push it back up.
kind of like if they're quiet, we don't have to
We
deal
don't
with
have to
it.
bother with them.
Yeah.
There you go.
but we're all learning, and they don't have to deal with us.
We're all
That's
learning.
what I said,
We've
right?
gone-
If we're quiet,
We've
they
gone
don't
in
have to deal with us.
In a little over a year.
And I think they're happy about it.
Ad hoc little thing that Andrew has set up to somebody that's trying to form and run in a business way and do things properly. And hopefully, I can pick up where Andrew left off and get in on that thing. And when they say, what's Villa Committee, I can say, okay, this is what the committee sending up to us. What do we gotta say? Oh, we gotta take this back down. That should be a two-way communication. And it should be, if that's where I end up, it should be me doing that I should be the the channel both ways.
Right.
We need the connection.
That's what we need.
Do you,
If the system
do you
works.
have the email
Especially
for Pat? You know, with the facilities committee, I don't know, do they have an email?
I don't have it yet.
Pat
Oh,
Klein?
Switching them over, so I can't add it.
You want Pat Klein's email?
Yeah.
So we have,
I'm sorry, what I would like us to do is that we will send things, our concerns to you, and maybe you could help us facilitate.
I actually don't want to go through her, I'd rather go right to the source. Pat,
But we're gonna go through the source. but we
Yeah,
wanna make
he's
sure-
gonna give me his email
But I
now.
wanna make sure we have all the sources that we need.
At least CC him in.
Well done.
I wanna make sure
Yeah,
we are clear on who we should be contacting, and then we can go from
Okay.
there, okay?
It's reasonable.
We'll get the information there as well, but you and I gonna we're gonna make sure we tighten everything.
Yeah, I gotta put all these minutes together, it was quite a meeting
Quite a long
today.
meeting. I do just have one more question. On First
Mine
Connect,
has-
okay, can a husband and wife have two separate emails on there? Or do you have to log in
One email.
with the one email? I did email you that earlier, and I know I didn't give you enough
Time
time.
to get back on.
so so if you're both listed, you both can, if you're both on the deed, right? Both, yeah. So you have already registered and you can only have one email on that one, but he can go in and register himself separately with his own, use the account number, remember no slashes in it, register again, put in his email, so he gets the email, put in your email preferences, go update it, tell it you want text. He's only did it 64 people. And then he can forget his login forever, whatever. Just go register one time when it's the first time process for him.
I
And his
just
own
did it.
separate account.
Are
And then
you
you
able
don't,
to do it? Oh, okay.
and then you don't have to remember, because like, you guys share your account, right? But
Yep.
you had to go in and register one time. Remember it, don't remember it, I don't, you know, but you gotta, it allows it to be separate, because what if you owned it and you didn't want to share data? But you can put, that's how you put it too.
So.
Okay, so if I want Michael to just get, to get his golf stuff, so I don't have to get it.
We already did that.
You already did it?
We already got
Oh,
that taken
you're a
care
good
Yeah,
man,
that's
Andrew.
gonna be through
Thank you,
Easy
Andrew.
Sweets, and TJ and or Aurelia can fix that.
Okay. I guess
So,
they already did it yesterday when they were
Is there
golfing.
anyone online if
So-
they have?
We all last, so can they communicate with
I
us
can't.
if they have any concerns?
Any questions?
Are they still there?
Hi, Miss Lewis, how are you? Hi, Sherlyn. You guys there?
Yes, we are.
Any questions?
Yes.
I'm trying to,
I'm here, Robin.
we can.
Hi.
Talk.
Oh, that's Camille. Hi, Camille.
Hi.
Hi.
So I will give an update though, for, if that's okay for the villas on, so with the hurricane damage, I mean, it's all public knowledge of how that happens, but I'm gonna be sending out an email to everyone. I think Icon had already started it, but I'm gonna redo it. Because we're legally supposed to have a copy of everyone's insurance policy on file. So I'm gonna send out a notice for that, so we can get those just updated, just so I know that they're updated. And then 2, which is the hurricane update. So you'll notice, so we had 4 homes who reported damage from the hurricane, water damage. That's the only thing that we cover. So the community, the HOA covers facilitating the repair, we facilitate the repair of the roofs, and we safeguard the roofs against any further damage. So we've had Crown Roofing, who's done work on this area before, come out, do a quote, and then we tarped the homes professionally, which we have to. So they've been professionally tarped. And then each of the homes, those 4 homes and if it was your home, it would be the same thing. There is no insurance policy for the villas. Each individual homeowner has to file a claim with their hurricane insurance, with their provider, and then have it checked by the insurance provider, whatever. it's up to their policies on if the deductible will be met, likely not, typically on that kind of thing. So then we will facilitate the repair of the roofs. Ideally, I would love to, I had Crown Roofing do a quote. I don't know if anyone else, everyone else is working to get they don't have to get a quote. I can get a second quote and have a reasonable understanding of what we would need to do. Then I would facilitate the repair of the roofs, ideally one company, not two different companies doing four different things. And then a special assessment would be assessed for the cost of all of those repairs.
To everybody.
To all 92 villa homes.
But my question is, it was my understanding that our assessments go for
Wear and tear on
the
them.
replacement of the roof and the painting, not during a hurricane.
Correct.
So I don't know why you're even involved in that. That should be their insurance
Yeah,
company.
right.
That
Yeah, I'm
shouldn't be for services at all. You shouldn't be doing that.
Correct.
All I did was tarp them and got a.
I know, but you shouldn't have done that. In my opinion, that should be through their insurance company. They're filing a claim with their insurance. That's how that
Yes.
should be.
Well, she would probably have to get,
But why should we be assessed for
no, we
that?
shouldn't be.
That's
Right.
insurance.
Fixing is.
Yeah.
You need to.
But where she might need to get involved is to make sure that they're using the right material, the right color of roof, the right tiles, maybe that's where they need to get involved.
That's what you understand. We were first told that anything outside the home, like the roof and the painting, the HOA was responsible for that. And that's where between the painting, please let me finish. The painting of the outside of the home as well as the roof. And that's why our HOA supposedly received an increase because of building up something that Lennar didn't do. Now, what you're saying, if I hear you correctly, you're saying that HOA has nothing to do with the roof or the outside. Is that what I'm understanding?
No, ma'am, I'm saying the HOA has nothing to do when it's a storm-related damage. That is your own personal insurance. The HOA should only be responsible in the case that we have to replace the roof when it's wear and tear and when the outside of the villas need painting, but not for any storm-related damage.
Well, that's what you understand. That was never our understanding. Where can we get that in writing?
Yeah.
That section 5 thing that, because 2 years ago, when this all started, we were all in that assumption. And we had numerous meetings about that same exact thing, because we were originally told that that was originally how it was supposed to be. They were going to be taking care of, that's why we purchased a villa versus buying a house, because they were taking care of all of that, the roofs, the painting, and then 2 years ago, like I said, we've been going through this for a good 2 years, and they changed it on us.
They passed Amendment
They
5.
passed Amendment 5, and
Lennar.
even though we had it in writing and signed things, they passed it, and then they took it away from us.
We're all in the same boat, unfortunately.
We're all in the same boat,
But otherwise, why do you have insurance that covers the outsides of your homes? And we do, we all have it, where we're supposed to have it, to pay for that storm damage, so that we don't all have to pay for it if somebody else's storm damage. When I had a leak, I didn't go through the HOA because it was my own personal roof.
Why do I have my HOA rates going up every year and my fellow neighbors with the single home is not paying a raised cost? And the reason they gave us was the roof as well as the painting.
We all agree. We all agree. We all have that same question.
Yeah, we've been asking that for the last 2 years, and that's.
I can't hear a word you're saying, ma'am.
And we've been asking that same question for the last 2 years, and pretty much the response we got is, it is what it is. And I guess if we don't like it, we can move, I don't know.
Why
But the assessment
doesn't every owner have that particular thing saying it is what it is? What do you have in writing And where can we get a copy of it, is what I'm asking.
So on the PowerPoint that I put on Connect, that has the breakdown of basically for assessment purposes, not reserves, I'm talking, has the breakdown. And in the back, there's an appendix of the breakdown too, with more detail, and we'll put out more, but
Anil, we will have a meeting with you because I don't understand everything that's being said. And this is extremely important, and we all need to have an understanding as well as a coverage. So we will get with you because this particular connection is not making me feel that I understand what's being said.
okay, but I want to make sure that I say it for everyone else so they know. So the PowerPoint is online. It has the breakdown of the assessments. As we went over earlier, within the villa's assessment, you'll see that's 13,900, so say 114,000. There's $40,000 in irrigation, $44,000 in landscape mowing. I think there's $10,000 in termite, 12,000 in mulch, and 8,000 in tree trimming, and that's what goes into that 14,000. Like when you add it up, that's 114,000. The rest of it is common elements that's shared by the household.
Anil, we will call for a meeting to understand this because the connection isn't the greatest for us that are listening, and we need to understand. So we will get on your calendar. So we'll contact you to see that.
Okay. And then what was I going to say on the other one? Oh, for the reserves, the villa reserves and the community reserves, I posted the entire report on Connect, both of them. They're both there.
Here again, we will have a meeting with you personally because to say it's on here and whether we can get it or not get it, we want to make certain. So we will look at, contact you to get on your calendar.
Great. Thank you, Sherilyn. And bring your laptop so that I can show you where to find it. Please.
You know I will. Thank you.
I hear that too. That is background noise.
Thank you, honey.
All right. Can we adjourn? Anyone else? I don't see, again, nope, we're good. No questions.
Okay, well, we would like to thank you for coming in and
Thank you.
My pleasure.
setting us all up, and hopefully we'll be able to get some of these things resolved. And so if no one has anything else, we will adjourn the meeting. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Congratulations.
Good luck, congratulations, David.
That's a good.
Keep resigning like this. We'll have to do this.
Where are you going? Just, you travel back
We're snowbirds, so we're not down
to
here.
where?
St. Louis.
St. Louis.
We go back and forth, and to be on this committee, on these committees, to do neighborhood justice, you gotta be here full time.
Well, like I said, it's wrong. You started up something really great and now it's just, this is time to. Awesome. Yeah, and these, as they come in, I'll have TJ added to his notice.
Yeah, why not?
Because, yeah, you know,
Let me give you back to you, my dear.
I know.
That's crazy. Well, thank you, everyone.
Thank you. Do you want any extra copies if anyone asks? Because I'm done with all the other committees. Well, no, the committees are done.
I am.
Throw them away.
Okay, good deal.
Is there any way, if you have a copy of the reserve statutes that you had, give it to me?
I didn't know. I just Googled it.
You have the link anywhere that you can, you have that link?
Okay, David.
You have that link?
I just
You said?
Googled
Okay.
Florida statute. I'll give you the Florida statute but I just Googled it. So I would have to,
Did you say 501? Isn't that what it's 501
no,
reserve?
it was
Florida statute.
I wrote it down.
chapter 720, Florida statute.
720, there you go.
720 reserves.
Yes,
So what I did was I
statute
just Googled it.
You can read it. You get a chance to go
Yes,
through it?
that's what I was
So,
reading.
and so-
That's how I asked that question, because I wanted to make sure that they have all these different specific, I wanted to make sure that it was designated just for the village.
Oh, I get
Just for the roof and for the paint, but they're saying it's gonna be for the villas, but they wanna be able to use it like this, I guess, with the roofs. But I mean, I agree
That's a.
that I had to pay.
Yeah,
I
that's
had to
their
pay
insurance.
$1,000 for mine.
First services shouldn't even be in that, in
Yeah.
my opinion.
See,
but-
Well, I think
But that's
one
the
of the things that they
problem
got
that
to
they
make
don't
sure
do.
is that we're using the proper materials, the proper colors and things like that. Because
Yeah, but
if you just hire somebody, when they come in, what they're going to do?
Well, I hired somebody separately. I hired, actually, the insurance company did, ASI Progressive did, because I didn't know anybody. We didn't even move, we weren't even here when it happened. So they,
Matching colors and matching materials and things like that.
well, they did that.
Okay.
But they did
But they
it, but I,
couldn't get the exact tile, so Lennar, I had to buy the tile from Lennar.
see, I think that maybe the HOA should have to approve it.
Right.
You should have to submit maybe they,
Right.
you know, just like a lot of other things.
Material and stuff like that.
So that we know it's being, I don't disagree with that, but I don't think the HOA should have to arrange
It's a
for
little
it.
No.
scary
And
that
then
they
we
don't-
have to all pay for it.
Like I said, the insurance company did everything for me. And ASI Progressive is Lennar, so.
You know, I had the leak.
Correct.
I turned it
You had
into
it.
my insurance.
Correct.
In the end, Lennar decided to fix it. I don't know why,
Somebody should have told
but
them.
I think my insurance maybe got a hold of them and said, hey, you're responsible for this. You didn't do it properly. I think they might have had a leg to stand
See,
on.
that's what
for that.
Angela was saying. He think it's.
My insurance didn't charge me nothing.
So you didn't have to pay your deductible?
No, my insurance charged, they had.
Don't you have ASI?
I don't have ASI.
Yeah.
I have, I'll send it to you. Well, I'll have Karen's, I'll tell Karen, because I can't remember off the top of my head who's my insurance.
ASI Progressive.
I don't have Progressive. I didn't do Progressive, but they did arrange for somebody to come out and put a tarp on my roof. They did all that for me, but they never charged me a dime. After they said, you know, we're not really responsible for it, Lennar decided to fix it for me, then they didn't charge me anything. I thought they would.
And that's why I called a lawyer. I actually called 2 lawyers to see if we could sue them as a village committee.
I don't know why they decided to fix mine, but I was very fortunate.
Yes, yeah, that's great.
It's like the watch commander's given permission to go ahead and box them in. He's coming up on West Southwest 7th and Market. Continuing eastbound, sir. Southbound Southwest 7th from Murphy. Get across the river here. Wait a minute, I think we've got a box in before the river. Get out! Get your hands up. Hey, let me take my speaker. Hey, I'm here. Hey, for me. You're gonna be sorry. Oh, you're gonna be sorry. God bless you. God bless you. God bless you. Yes, he has, buddy. Okay. Listen after that, it's for you. Listen. I was found in my truck. God's here with me. It's empty? Yeah, I know. 7 minutes from that. Hi, buddy. Sit in there and think about Hastings for a little bit. He's gonna take a nappy nap. What'd you pull him over for?
He's driving through the loop. He's got his horn on the whole time, and he's holding the cross out the window. I told him, say you came out here, people live down here.
What'd you pull him over for?
Why? I said, because people live down here. You're being disorderly. You got to stop on the corner. I don't care if you got the cross out the window. And as soon as I drove away, he laid on the horn again. So I tried to pull him over, and he held the cross at me and started putting a curse on me and punched it. Chase it down.
You okay?
I'm okay.
How come you didn't stop with the police?
Why should I stop?
Well,
You told me to put my horn.
Well, you have to stop for the police.
Yeah, I stopped. I was driving like 5 miles an hour.
That's not stop.
Hell,
Why didn't you just stop and pull over and avoid all this?
No. You can't make the right thing.
No. You don't want to stop for the police.
Well, what about I noticed the people they found the whole for the bad people, you know? Why not arrest them?
We're trying to arrest people, but we gotta take time out of our job to deal with people like you.
All those nights, with all the organized Catholic thing, you know? I hear the song all night long, and nobody got arrested.
Okay, buddy. God bless you. All right, all I could tell is he said he didn't think he needed to stop for the police. He stopped once and had a talk with Officer McBride. Officer McBride advised him to stop honking his horn, and he kept on doing it when he left. He tried to pull him over again, he didn't want to do it. Apparently. That worked out good. Nobody got hurt. Fortunately, time of night, city wasn't too busy. We had enough cars, Boxing Day. Everything's good like that. It's time to head home.
What are you doing?
I'm applying for a credit card on Credit Karma. They have this thing called the Karma Guarantee. It's sort of like a card fairy. If you apply for a credit card that has the Karma Guarantee and you don't get approved, the card fairy will slip $50 under your pillow.
Is he coming tonight?
Nope. Just got approved. The card fairy will just have to rummage around in someone else's fridge. Get approved or get $50 on offers with the Karma Guarantee.
What is it about competition that drives us forward? Is it the rush, the push, the pull? It's about bolder strokes, sharper lines, stronger colors. Thousands of artists enter Minton's design competitions. You choose the winners, you support the artists so that you can have designs and art you love. Because the designs you buy, the art you hang, and the gifts you share should only be the best.
Do you or someone you know need justice?
The two of you have very different versions of what happened.
Then you need Pluto TV Courtroom.
She was so upset.
Countersuit is dismissed.
Watch Pluto TV Courtroom.
You trust me? The best criminals are the ones you don't see coming.
You have to act smart. Drop it now.
Being a cop's a pretty fun job. You get a lot of leeway with your job. You can do as much or as little on any given day as you want. You don't have a boss breathing down your neck every day you're at work. Some days you can come to work and nothing will happen. Other days you can come to work and you'll be going from call to call to call. Time you come on to the time you leave.
I like to keep my job and my family life separate as often as possible. I'll go home and try not to share too many stories that I've accrued during the shift. Although I do have a persistent wife that's constantly asking what I had done that day, I tend to just try to leave everything here on the street.
Got a little entrepreneur running a dope house around here on Avenue D. A car pulled up, person exited, walked up to the back door, they had a transaction. We're gonna pull up and see what was going on.
We could smart watch both of them.
How you doing? You have some ID? Still living out in Colleyville?
Yes, sir.
What are you doing over here in this side of town?
I was just at a friend's house.
Friend's house? Who would that be?
My friend Cassandra.
Where's Cassandra live?
She lives over at Rosedale and Hemphill with her mother.
Rosedale and Hemphill?
Yes, sir.
Okay, so you were just over on Rosedale and Hemphill?
Yes, sir. I think that's the track card.
Stop making an extra stop on your way back home? No, that's the only place you've been is Rosedale and Hemphill. You came straight back over here.
Yes, sir.
You didn't stop anywhere along the way, even if I saw you stop along the way, you didn't stop along the way.
Yep.
Is your story you're sticking to it?
That's right.
Okay, well, step out for me.
I got a phone number in my pocket. I think that's it.
You don't have anything else? Yeah, I'm thinking, I don't want to get stuck with it. All right, that's the phone number in your pocket.
Yeah, it's just a piece of paper. I don't have anything.
You'll slip that in the pants and we're crazy, right?
Nope.
Okay. You know what I'm talking about when I say it's already somewhere else.
Okay. I didn't find someplace else.
Okay, well, I already know.
That's just another friend's house. I didn't.
Why
I don't know, because you're gonna mess with me. I'm a stripper. I have lots of different friends.
So all you're doing is going to visit them.
That's all I was doing. My friend Cassandra lives with her mom on Rosedale and Hemphill. I was over there. I stopped by his house on the way home, and now I'm headed back to my house. Exactly. I've been at work all day. I've got all my clothes in my car and everything.
Anything else in that car that you shouldn't have?
I think there might be a point in there.
Nothing else?
There's no dope or anything. There's some cigarette butts in my ashtray. Y'all can search my car. I'm telling you straight up, there's a point and probably a spoon in there. But that's it. Probably in my purse and a little thing. Thing. No, they're used.
You want somebody to drop by and search her? Again? You want Beth, somebody to drop by and search her? You don't have anything on you?
No, he's checked my pockets. I mean, I'll strip down naked for you.
No, we don't need to have that out here, but.
I take off my clothes all day for my job.
Sir, so if you'll sit down here, I'll just go ahead and get her.
My legs, here, can I lean up against somebody? Because I told him I slit my leg so I can.
Okay, well, if you Would sitting down on the curb be easier?
Can I lean up against you to get down on the ground? Because I pulled a muscle in my leg, so. Thank you.
Your needle and spoon?
Yeah, it's in,
That's all of it?
there's a black thing in there that says princess, that stuff's in there.
Okay.
It has like 3 needles in there.
You promise I'm not gonna find anything else anywhere? There's the used needles and the spoon in there. See if we got any residue or anything on there.
How often do you get high?
I do it like one time when I get up. That's it.
How much does that cost you a day?
Well now, I only spend like $20 a day on it. Before, I was spending like $300, $400, $500 a day on it. I just sit around and get high all day.
Oopsie daisy, it's got the empty caps, they're empty.
So, my mom made copies of like.
So far, she's telling me grotesque fruit.
I take life skills and all that stuff. that I was in there. She made copies of all that and sent off. The people at the courthouse, they probably wouldn't have any problem. It's like 150.
She's using that for cotton.
For one of my headlights.
Yeah.
Crazy like that.
Hang on, business at all?
It was about 7 or 7:30 when I got up there.
Then you went over to New York from there?
Yeah, I went over there, then I went over to my friend's house.
You went over, scored, shot up, chilled for a while?
Well, that doesn't look empty to me right there, what do you think?
Where's she live at?
Well, she just thought she used it all.
Her and her husband live over there with my friend Cassandra.
Sean, you may want to put her in handcuffs, sir.
Do what?
You may want to put her in handcuffs. Tell her that all her caps weren't empty.
What was that?
Yeah.
All your
All
caps
your
are
caps were not empty. It looks like you may be going back to the same thing you just got out.
Right.
Do we need to call your work tomorrow? Time we won't be making it in?
Please don't take me back to death for that.
Well, look at it this way. The first time you went, you cut your habit down from 500 a day to 20 a day. Now you might cut it down a little bit more.
Discover the unspeakable crimes committed by ruthless killers. They were monsters among us.
Dealing the serial killer.
We gotta figure out who this guy is so we can track him down.
You don't want to see this.
Let's go.
Okay, team, we're working with a deadline here. Let's move. Stand for two.
Monsters Among Us, all this month on Pluto TV.
I've been a judge for 40 years. Don't waste my time. You didn't pay rent. You have to go find the person that duped you if you were a dope that got duped. Get a good therapist. Are you a therapist? You are angry. I know what makes me angry. You make It's my show. Nobody cares whether you have a personality or not.
I work with the North Division CRT unit, stands for Crime Response Team, and we handle all kinds of situations, whatever task they give us, we deal with it. I grew up on the east side of Fort Worth. I joined the Air Force and was gone a few years and came back to Fort Worth and never really thought about being a police officer and heard they were hiring. I got out of the Air Force and here I am and loving every day of it. I got a couple cars. Well, let's see if I can get behind them. I'm not gonna be able to throw them in because I'm right behind them now. But they're gonna try to race here. Now that I'm on top of them, they're not gonna race. So they caught that light. They're not gonna get on it now. Oh, maybe they are. Oh, yeah, they are. Excellent. How stupid. Oh, there he goes. Let's see who runs. See if we can get both of them. Pull up behind with the other one up there. All the way up with the other one. Be off, you wait. That Camara's Let's see if that Camaro comes up here. He'll probably U-turn on me and try to lose me. See if he'll pull up behind me. Better stop there while you can. Camaro turned on me. See if that Camaro comes up with me. Yeah, I think he turned around with the other one. Let's see, yeah. No, he's coming. No, yeah, he's pulled up. Oh, no, he's coming. Yeah, he came up. Wow, excellent. Well, I got two cars here that were racing, and I actually somehow got both of them to stop, so I'll check them out. I was right behind y'all, man.
Where you at?
Right behind y'all at the light. I was like, I know y'all are going to run with me right there. I was sitting right behind y'all at the light. You go ahead and sit in the car, man. Just get your license out. Yeah, I saw him. And you fell for it. Just your license will work, man. Is this your vehicle? Yeah, I saw him taunting you, and you fell for it. So now you're both going to have to pay for it. Yeah.
No, it's not the place to have fun.
No. Not really. I wind up killing somebody.
Sorry?
You already done?
Yeah.
You're eating so fast.
You're starving like that, yeah.
Wait a second, Elaine. The pork?
Yeah, pork chop.
Ooh,
Stop there while you can. Right behind y'all at the light. I was like, I know y'all are going to run with me right there. I was sitting right behind y'all at the light. You go ahead and sit in the car, man. Get your license out for you. Yeah, I saw him. And he fell for it. Just your license will work, man. Is this your vehicle?
why? No sleeping good last night?
No.
You're looking too much for.
I did.
Movies. For this one, you don't want to sleep nighttime. This is the problems the people for not sleeping nighttime and one is sleeping daytime. Because it's almost tired daytime.
Y'all see me right behind y'all at the light? I'm not getting you for speeding up here, get your race. I was right behind y'all. Y'all were paying attention. You saw me, man? Nah, just a driver. So, watch y'all step around over here. Okay. Alvin. How old are you, sir? 39. Yeah. How much do you weigh, sir? 39. How old are you, sir? 25 and 39. Y'all are out here racing, man. What's up with that? Well, I know y'all don't mean it hard, man. You know, y'all lose control of these vehicles. I'm not saying y'all are bad drivers, but y'all lose control of these fast cars. You might wipe somebody else out here. You know what I'm saying? So, you know, we can't have that kind of stuff out here. So he taunted you, but you can take it forward against the city. Just trying to catch up to him. Okay. So you think he would have taken it? Okay, well, you know, like I said, yeah, y'all can't be doing that out there on the street. Maybe that's just not safe. Y'all have to take contact all the on the back. Okay, like I said, y'all just take that somewhere beside the post. You know, they have ways to go show up in the car, you know, fly down the track or whatever. This is not the place to do it, okay? Y'all holding nothing no better. And y'all should at least been looking in your rear mirror to see who's sitting right behind you. I was right behind him. Y'all pick off. So at least know who's in your rear mirror when y'all do something stupid. Hopefully you learn your lesson. Viewer discretion is advised. Officers filmed on location with the men and women of law enforcement. All suspects are innocent until proven guilty in the court of law.
The city of Atlanta is a nice place to live. It's a very diverse culture. You got people from all over the world here. There's always things going on for everyone. You know, whatever your interests are. I like to play soccer a lot, so I'm always either out on the soccer field or catching some type of soccer sporting event.
I'm gonna check this park over here on the right. I'm gonna should be here after hours. We have a lot of violent crime recently. So just make sure nobody's here.
Yeah. Right now, but you know, starting to work on like there's nowhere like black male got on a gray shirt, blue jeans, black female got a white shirt, like that. So we should be direction on the apartments. Walking out of the distance behind them. Come on, your hands up. Hands down. Hands down. Put your hands up. Atlanta police. Right, good. Come on, hands down. Hands up. Get on the ground. 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 On the ground. Stop moving. Where's the weapon at? We saw you. On the gun, you sort of like you. Stand up. You got it? We heard you drop it, so I don't know why you're acting like you didn't have nothing on you. It's gonna hurt, man. Yeah, it was just bad. I could get a shot when you they were around this area. The Casey's are gonna be around here. There's one mile. Two right here. Another one. But on shelter the Hey, boss. So what happened out here? What are you doing?
burger supposed to have sweet potatoes?
Yeah, I wrote it on their back line because she came in and told me, and then one of them, the one with the mushroom, the bottom one goes with, a gluten-free bun, but I wrote it on their ticket. Thank you. That's weird. I wonder if this is still on. La computadora.
Oh, for the conference. Oh. Need to people. You ordered the blood witch or no?
What?
They make the order for the blood witch. The pledge.
Pledge? You need pledge? You didn't tell me that.
Yeah, of course.
I can write it.
I'll wait for it.
Yeah, no, you didn't tell me. I would have wrote it down. Pledge? I didn't know that. I gotta write mop heads and pledge.
Yeah.
When anything you need, I write on the back board.
Oh.
In the back.
No, I'm not.
Marilyn comes Thursday. Oh, you know what? Oh crap, it's too late. She does ordering sometimes today, but it's her day off. She does it from home, I think.
Because I don't know, sometimes here, it's crazy.
They're
not crazy.
What, the pledge?
This one.
The legend?
So this, the pledge is taken out.
Yeah, no, pledge is good.
Because
When I was
here
little-
it's okay. Here it's crazy.
My mom used to make us clean with pledge. I guess time to clean your room. Here's the rag and the pledge.
Oh, and I come in the morning and I say, Miguel, I need the other kid, the dispenser, the paper toilet, the over there, the tennis court, and the basketball court.
Mm-hmm.
And he said, oh, I have my own keys en el llavero de la casa, en las llaves de la casa. Y I don't have it today because today I have a different. Because the other one is here, he's having the other one in the other own things. I said, okay. And he said, why do you need it? He said, because.
With the paper towel?
Because the guys is leaving the dispensers open, and now everybody is taking out
The paper towel.
Did you know in 1 week I'm putting eight paper toilets in 1 week? Okay, work my week, 5 days. 8 paper toilets, because the bathrooms have it. 1 bathroom and men's bathroom, and 2 in the lady.
There was a lady today. She came in. I know who she is. She's usually really nice. But I heard her telling TJ, like, the bathrooms were so dirty. Da, 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 da. I don't know what she was talking about. I don't know where, but she was freaking out. I thought she was complaining about maybe people doing parties or something at the pool. Are they still doing parties at the pool on Sunday?
Over there in
the North Pool?
For this one, you know what? I take a pictures, no for not for the people looking, oh, looking, the Lina make a nice job, better job, wow, also job, the Lina. No. I take the pictures for one big reason. Because over there is a lot parties in same day. So it's coming 11 in the morning.
Yeah.
The people is already over there and make a one party, lunch and everything. It's taking the things, the food. It's coming bags, there's beers, everything like that. So I go over there, close the 10 in the morning.
They used to do that at my apartment when I lived over here. And they would fill up the trash. They wouldn't even clean. They'd leave the trash on the side of the trash can, destroy the grill.
So the bathrooms is so terrible, outside is so terrible. Of course, this is Sunday, and the time they come in over there, there's no people over there.
They need like a pool attendant.
So I have a chance, girl. I put in la manguera in the hole for the water.
Oh, the hose.
The hose. I take it and clean all tables, all chairs, and clean the bathrooms.
Yeah, because it was bad.
And clean the bathrooms, everything, and clean the windows inside, the doors, everything. Yeah, I take the pictures. Every time I'm finished.
When you're done.
I take the pictures.
Yeah.
Yeah, I send for Kanya. Oh, she's going now? Kanya is going now? Wow, surprise me. Wow.
Oh, yeah.
Big surprise.
It's okay, Amanda's not here.
Look, you see? And clean the walls, the divisions, floors, everything. Look, everything is looking sharp.
Yeah, it does.
Look in the floor. Toilets, paper toilet, mirrors, look. You see? So, the other thing, I go over there, I want to map the floor. And you know what? Somebody spent the soap on the floor. Yes, dry. Look. I go take a map and look in a lot soap and the water, the map water, and look in the floor.
Oh my God.
You see how much time I take over there?
Because they don't care.
All the time I go over there is more than 3 hours.
Yeah.
More than 3 hours. Because I'm finished over there and go outside, have a playground, have a garbage over there, and have the gym.
There's a gym over there too?
But outside.
Interesting.
So the people throw out the bottles, throw out everything. The people don't care everything. So anyway,
trash.
I keep it more than 3 hours over there. Every time I go over there.
You're gonna laugh. So where I live, First Service runs it. They're great. They send emails about everything. The other night, I was going outside and I see a raccoon coming down the stairs. I live on the bottom floor. And I was like, I'm locking my door. I'm trying to open my door again. And I saw it just leave. So yesterday they sent an email saying someone in my building is feeding the raccoon.
For this wonderful.
And they said, whoever is doing this, like, you shouldn't be doing that. And they said, if we have to put cameras, we'll put cameras to catch who's doing it. I was like, what? Someone's feeding the raccoon? What's wrong with people?
Over there over there have a raccoon.
Are you kidding me?
In the north track have a little family of raccoon. So one day I go for take out the trash, the garbage can. And you know what? Surprise! Inside the garbage truck is the raccoon over there. But the raccoon no want to go out. It's the baby raccoon. You know why? Because somebody is fight for him. somebody is fight for him and take out the tire. So he's over there because
Okay.
he's scared for the different animal. Go kill him. So he's over there, nobody
Like
will
scared.
kill me.
Oh my God, I don't care, Lena's a raccoon, it's a raccoon.
Little raccoon is
They're bad.
no,
You can get rabies and die from it. Listen, one time, I lived in an apartment and the trash was like, maybe like a block from my apartment. And I was going to take the trash out and I opened it and a raccoon jumped out. And I was running, Lena, I was so scared.
But I said, you know, fight for him, he not fight you.
He was running after me and then I got to my door and I had a glass door. So I closed the door and it's like, ah. I'm telling you, I was so scared.
Yeah, this is careful. You know
And
those
then you know what else
animals?
I saw? I saw a possum. A possum.
Oh my gosh.
I lived on the second floor and Lena, I opened my door and it was right. I was like, ah! No.
Hello?